The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is May the 15th, 2025. And if you want to listen to the show, all you have to do is go to YouTube and you can listen live, or you can use the playbacks or whatever to listen to previous shows, or you can dial into the number at 1717-908-1834 and hit the access code at 917324, and I will open your mic and let you say whatever you want to say. Actually, tonight I prefer you call in because I ain't got shit to talk about. I mean, there's a lot going on. Trust me, but I am not well versed on the topics. Just like always, I get the news in passing nowadays and don't really study it. But, I mean, it's so prevalent. Let me see if my audio is working. Test. I guess it's working. Yeah, it's so prevalent that you can't help but run into news nowadays. You got Donald Trump, of course, the weakest president America has ever had. Accepting gifts from foreign countries, which is a violation of the Emoluments Clause, which is, he's breaking the law. You've got the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, doing insider trading. In the news this week is P. Diddy. And like I said, I have not listened to what's going on, but the short little clips that I heard about P. Diddy is disgusting. And not only should that man be put in jail, I think he should suffer some type of other punishment. I don't know what, but this guy, with his money and power, did some disgusting things with his influence. So I don't know where to start tonight. I don't know if I'll talk about Donald Trump, and I would really, I solicit the opinions from the other side, and the other side that we have here hanging around on this platform is Mr. Solutions, Sarge, and what's up, Sugar Bum? Did I say that out loud? I hope you're a Sugar Bum. I don't know what that is, but I solicit the opinions from those guys, Solutions, Sarge, and ABC, because they're on the other side, and I don't solicit the opinion because I agree with them. I don't solicit their opinion. I just want to hear the thought process of these people. And it's amazing to me how they doubling down no matter how bad Trump gets. no matter how much he lies, no matter what he does, these people are always pushing the line to agree with him. It doesn't matter. I mean, you cannot get any worse than sexually assaulting somebody. When it comes to the Constitution, you can't get no worse than accepting foreign bribes. Um, every time this man does something, these people find a way to support what he does. With these stupid ass tariffs that's got everything sky high now, these people are doubling down. And see, just you got ABC in the damn chat room, fresh off of a fucking horse pill, talking about Trump is winning. Stop thinking that shit. Yeah. See, that's the kind of insanity that I solicit, and the comments that I solicit, because it's fascinating to me to know that this dumbass watched this man take over a thriving economy. The stock markets was booming. People were working. Jobs were being created. The economy was doing great up under Joe Biden. And ABC, one of his arguments was how bad Joe Biden was fucking up the economy, right? Now that the economy is actually fucked up, people are actually getting fired. People are actually losing their jobs, and their 401ks and investments are going to shit. Now that the stock market is fluctuating wildly and unpredictable because of his dear leader, where the fuck is ABC's comment now about the stock market? You know, before he was all studied up on the stock market, trying to tell us about how Joe Biden is fucking it up. Where are you at now that you actually see that the stock market is fucking up and people are losing jobs? They literally went into Washington, him and Elon Musk, eliminating jobs, which fuck with the economy in part. They came up with this tariff war against Mexico and Canada first, and then later on it evolved to China, and then later on it was the whole world. We're gonna put tariffs on the whole planet, which fucked up the economy. I like to hear their opinions, because as they were standing behind Donald Trump supporting his tariffs and cheering on what they was doing to China, China ain't budged. China said, fuck you and your tariffs. It was Donald Trump who buckled. Donald Trump went from 145% tariffs, I think, that he against China, down to 80%. Which shows you that he don't know what the fuck he's doing. So what are these guys' opinion about Donald Trump waffling, Donald Trump kissing the ring of the Saudis, a terrorist country? See, people don't talk about Saudi Arabia because, well, Saudi Arabia has the oil. And what does that mean? Saudi Arabia has the money and the power, right? So they don't talk about Saudi Arabia. But Saudi Arabia is one of the most ancient countries that has old ways, and they chop people heads off and all that barbarian shit. Saudi Arabia still does, right? The shit that America's supposed to stand against. They literally have a king. That's not a democracy. But because they have oil and money, the United States overlooks the fact that these people are barbaric. They won't say it because they have the money. So Donald Trump over there kissing the Saudis' ass, and they getting ready to give him a jet plane, a Boeing 747 or some bullshit. I think they said it was worth $400 million. Let me, I like to be right. Yeah, I think they said it was worth $400 million. Man, my Google ain't working right. Yeah, 400 million. And where are these patriots that love America that don't want to live under tyranny, that don't want to live under a king? Where are these patriots at calling Donald Trump out for accepting a gift? This is why I like to hear from these guys, because I know they full of shit. Uh, I know they full of shit whenever it comes to Donald Trump. Y'all can see I'm trying to do a whole bunch of things at one time. Yeah, they full of shit when it comes to Donald Trump. Listen, Donald Trump goes against every moral and ethical principle that someone like ABC, Sarge, or Mr. Solutions have came on here and wagged their finger at black folks and said that we ought not to do. Donald Trump might as well be a nigga. He might as well be a black person. If we was going by how these guys describe black people in our community, right? They always talking to us about being honest, lying, being criminal, taking care of our families, right? Single parent homes. They always talking to us about all that bullshit, right? And Donald Trump is guilty of every one of those damn things. And we don't hear a peep from them. Like, where the fuck is Melania Trump? Donald Trump might as well be a divorced man, because his wife is nowhere to be seen. The same people talking about family values, having a husband in the home, taking care of your wife. ABC said that he married and, he got a situation that, that he's, I don't agree with, but, he come on here and promote that. And, this is how everybody should live, right? But Donald Trump ain't living like that. He's not setting the example. Even his bride for sale wife knows something that you idiots don't. That Donald Trump is full of shit. And she can't stand to be around his ass. Where is Melania? Where is Donald Trump's wife? Where is the first lady? I heard something the other day said that she don't even live in the White House with him. You know what? Listen, as I was talking about that, I just Googled this. Look, I just put in where is Melania, right? And this this news article right here says Donald and Melania Trump are essentially separated. That's one day ago. Melania Trump's statue disappearance investigated. So let's just click on this one. It says Donald and Melania Trump are essentially separated. A biographer says Melania Trump had reportedly spent fewer than 14 days in the White House since her husband's inauguration in January. The news about the state of Donald and Melania Trump's marriage probably won't come as no surprise to many. But one of the president's biographers proclaimed Tuesday that he and his wife are essentially separated. They clearly do not in any way inhabit a marriage as we define marriage, said the author Michael Wolff on the Daily Beast Post Tuesday podcast. And I think maybe we can more specifically say they live in separate houses. They are separated. The President of the United States and the First Lady are separated. Wolff has written multiple best-selling books on Trump, including the 2018's Fire and Fury and February's All or Nothing, How Trump Recaptured America. The Daily Beast reported that the White House doesn't think much of Wolff's reporting, labeling him a fraud. Of course they would say that. But his view that Donald Trump and Melania lead separate lives align with much other recent reporting about the first couple. Despite Trump's post-election promise that his wife would be an active first lady, she's actually being true to herself, as the biographers have said. This has come to mean that the former model and mail order bride, I threw that in there, who likes to act aloof and cultivate an air of mystery, is not playing the traditional role of the First Lady and apparently not spending much time in the White House with her husband. Last week, the New York Times reported that Melania Trump does not really live in the White House. Again, no real surprise. She vanishes from view for weeks at a time, holding up in Trump Tower in the Manhattan or in Florida, where she can lie low at Mar-a-Lago. The Times White House reporter Sean McCrease wrote, Trump administration officials insist that Melania Trump is at the White House more often than the public knows, but they would not offer any specifics on when she had stayed in the residence, where she was known in Trump's first administration to maintain her own bedroom. Two people with the knowledge of Melania Trump's schedule told McCree that she has spent fewer than 14 days at the White House. I ain't gonna let y'all suffer through my reading no more, but y'all get the gist of the thing. I was just talking about how fucked up the Trump administration family values was, and then I clicked on this article that this reporter is saying that Melania Trump ain't spent fewer than 14 days in the White House, and they are essentially separated. So this goes against everything that Sarge and ABC and Mr. Solutions are talking about, the family values and having a husband and a wife and all that kind of bullshit. This goes against it, but where are they at? Why haven't they commented on how the first family is not really a first family? They're separated. Hey, what's up, East Coast? And who else is there? Frodo and ABC and MJ. But yeah, where the fuck are they at? And this is just one item that goes against the things that these guys come on here and talk about, right? With the family values and shit. Donald Trump is a fucking criminal. These guys always wag their finger at the black community whenever they talk about criminality, and not one time did they come on here and talk about the criminality behind Donald Trump is a fucking liar. He lies constantly. The latest round of lies involved the tariffs. The latest round of lies said that he will lower. No, what did he say? The latest round of lies includes no tax on tips, right? Remember that was a campaign promise. You won't get no tax on tips. The latest round of lies included he would get rid of the war in the Ukraine on day one. Where these motherfuckers at? Supporting Donald Trump. That will not call out his bullshit. They came on here and promoted him, but they won't call out his bullshit. They would, and the most one of the. Let me see if I can find this. The thing with this damn Saudi airplane is when Donald Trump was in the White House the first time, I was explaining to Sarge how Donald Trump has violated the emoluments clause in the Constitution whenever he promoted his daughter's business whenever he had the hotels and he was allowing foreign leaders to pay him to stay there. Whenever he hired his family to work at the White House, all of that was violating the emoluments clause, I think. And Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. Let me see. All right, so I'm trying to get to this. You know what? Instead of me just having dead air, I'll go through it with y'all. See, the emoluments clause, part of the Constitution, prohibits federal officials from accepting gifts, titles, or emoluments from foreign governments. It says it right there in the Constitution, right? And just to break it down even further, when I'm using the word emolument, it means a salary, a fee, or profit from employment of the office or employment or office. That's what emolument means. So Donald Trump the president cannot accept gifts, titles, or emoluments from foreign governments without the consent of Congress. This clause, specifically Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, aims to prevent foreign influence and corruption of an American official. The purpose of the Emoluments Clause was designed to safeguard against undue foreign influence on U.S. government officials, particularly the president. The framers of the Constitution recognized the potential for foreign powers to offer gifts or other benefits to gain favors or influence decisions. The clause applies to all federal officials, including the president, and encompasses a broad range of benefits, including gifts, emoluments, compensational services, and titles. Congressional consent. The clause requires congressional approval for federal officials to accept any gift of emolument, office, or title from foreign government. This ensures that Congress has oversight and can determine whether the acceptance of such benefits is in the national interest. The Foreign Emolument Clause versus Domestic Emoluments Clause. While the Foreign Emoluments Clause prohibits foreign gifts, the Domestic Emoluments Clause, found in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 7, focuses on the president's compensation and prohibits him from receiving any other emolument from the federal or state governments during his term besides his salary. The Domestic Emolument Clause aimed to maintain the president's independence from Congress. So, this motherfucker is in office selling bitcoins, selling tennis shoes, manipulating the stock market, investing on a down, buying stock whenever he causes the market to go down, has not closed any of his businesses, selling these $5 million citizenship tickets. I mean, the list goes on and on. The same motherfucker that says this.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
This motherfucker is this is the same motherfucker that no one is questioning. None of his actions. The person that was in a presidential debate and claimed that Haitian people were eating dogs. Nothing that Donald Trump does, all the illegal, corrupt shit that he does, the media don't say shit about it. And it's clear in the Constitution what this man is doing is clearly corrupt, illegal. It is. And they let him allow the Supreme Court to give him immunity. See, this is what Donald Trump ain't dumb. They allow the Supreme Court to give him immunity so the conversation that I'm having right now, they could say that he did it as he was acting, as he was the president. So now, because we made this decision, it's legal. The Supreme Court created, for the first time in American history, a king or a dictator. Because we can have this conversation about him accepting this jet, right? But the Supreme Court said that the actions that Donald Trump take while sitting in that office, you can't hold him accountable for. And Donald Trump knows that. Even though the law says what the hell I just said it said, when the Supreme Court made a decision to give him immunity, this motherfucker told the Saudis, I want a fucking golden jet. The CNN article says converting luxury jet gifted to Trump into Air Force One could cost hundreds of millions of dollars. What does that mean to you and I? That means whenever the Saudis give this motherfucker this jet as a bribe, because that's what it is, that means you and I will have to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to have it converted over to Air Force One when there's already a fleet of Air Force Ones in the Defense Department. He's wasting money. I don't hear Sarge or ABC or anybody calling out this bullshit. Converting the luxury jet gifted by Qatar to President Trump into a replacement Air Force One could potentially cost hundreds of millions of dollars and it could take up to 2 years to install the necessary security equipment, communications, and defensive capabilities for it to be safely used as the commander-in-chief, current and former official told CNN. So that's just the beginning of it. Because Donald Trump said that when the Saudis give him this plane, it's not for the Defense Department. He's going to use it for his term. And then after his term, he's going to take the jet and put it in his presidential library. So it's not a gift to America. It's a gift to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not going to leave that jet in the Defense Department for America. He's taking this gift, and just like before, he's going to take it home with him. Republican Senator Ted Cruz said Tuesday that the plane poses significant espionage and surveillance problems. Across the aisle, Democrat Senator Jack Reed, ranking member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, said accepting it would pose immense counterintelligence risks by granting foreign nations potential access to sensitive systems and communications. Trump exclaimed in a social media post on Sunday that the Defense Department would be receiving a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily. The move would raise numerous ethics questions given the value of the jet. Listen, see, this is what I hate about the fucking media. They describe it, the move would raise numerous ethic questions. No, it's against the fucking law. He cannot do it. It ain't raising no ethical questions. He's already unethical. We already know that. Why don't you just say taking the fucking plane violates the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, CNN? The American people need to hear that from the media, that this guy is up there in the office blatantly breaking the fucking law. But it also raises serious questions about security of the aircraft that could be used by the president to ensure continuity of the government in an emergency situation. It's been estimated the jet is worth $400 million, but a person familiar with the details of the potential plan said the value of the Qatar aircraft is closer to $250 million. Overhauling it, according to the administration, estimates the person has been briefed on could cost as much as 3 times of that. Even if used temporarily as Trump's has said it would be used, U.S. agencies would need to ensure that there is no security vulnerabilities by essentially stripping the aircraft down to its frame and rebuilding it with necessary communications equipment. All I just said to you is that that's hundreds of millions of dollars of American taxpayer money that is getting wasted on this corrupt piece of shit who is getting a gift from these fucking terrorists, the Saudis. And you and I ain't got a damn thing to say about it. And you got stupid ass Sergeant ABC in the chat room cheering this dumb shit on. These are fucking traitors. They are treasonous. They are not American. I don't know who the fuck these people are that can sit up here and look at these actions with Donald Trump and not see that America is no more. Ain't that what I named the damn thing? Let me see what I named it. Yeah, America is no more. This is what I said weeks ago. Whenever we was talking about Donald Trump and how America was going to be, I told you America is not America anymore. people were concerned about whether they should be afraid. Yes, you should be. You know, ain't nobody gonna come knocking on your door today or tomorrow or next week. But you should be afraid whenever you watching the president of the United States violate laws. How is that significant to you? Well, it's significant to you because if he can blatantly violate laws, your local municipality, if you get caught up in some bullshit, that judge, that attorney, right? That prosecutor can watch this example of the president of the United States saying, fuck the goddamn Constitution. They can say, fuck the Constitution. You already see an example of that whenever they deported these people to Venezuela or El Salvador, wherever the fuck they went, whenever they deported these immigrants. That's just a test. That's just a test. They want to see what the fuck they can get away with. This airplane is a test to see what the fuck he can get away with. This has only been 5 or 6 months of his administration. And he's gonna ruin the goddamn economy, fucked up the goddamn stock market, fired hundreds of thousands of goddamn people. Prices have skyrocketed. He's gonna accept it a $400 million fucking aircraft from the Saudi Arabians. The Secretary of fucking Defense has actually shared secret classified defense information through a fucking civilian chat app. The Attorney General has been exposed for investing in the stock market on Trump's command when he called for the tariffs. The Marjorie Taylor Greene, the same thing. He's done and hired that drunk ass, stupid ass Janine DePiro to be the attorney for fucking Washington, D.C. or some bullshit off of Fox News. That's where he get his employees from, off of Fox fucking News. And then he's gonna convince these fucking brain dead zombies in my chat room like ABC, because ABC just said, Tyrone, you are lying. The economy has only improved since Trump came in. Where the fuck do you live, nigga? Where do you live? See, he's gonna convince these motherfuckers that he's doing good. So whatever the hell he's doing, right? It's working on fucking people like ABC. It's working on people like Sarge. Hold on. It takes I can't well, maybe this is a good example. What is this? United States Stock Market Index, US 500. So let me show you how stupid ABC is. And ABC, you pay attention, bitch. Listen, bitch, I got something to tell you. Look at this chart on your screen. Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, follow me. Okay. January 25th, Trump came into office. Right? So this is January 23rd, Trump came in office. Now watch the stock market. Watch the stock market. And this is around the time he announced the damn tariff. You dumb son of a bitch. Look at this fucking dive in the stock market. February, right? March. You dumb bitch. April. May. And now it's starting to climb back up. But it still ain't as high as it was when he came into the office. So don't be telling me the economy is doing fine when you can just Google, just like I did, the stock market trend and see for yourself when this motherfucker announced these stupid ass tariffs, how people lost their fucking 401ks, how the prices went up, how people got laid off. You stupid. So I don't understand why you would sit up here and say some shit that is blatantly dishonest, other than you're a fucking cult member. So don't say that the economy is doing fine when Donald Trump came into office, when the evidence is right here in front of your fucking face. Look at Sarge. He's in the chat room screaming liar. What am I lying about? This is not my numbers, nigga. This is the United States Stock Market Index, the US 500. Okay? What am I lying about? He fucked up the economy, like I said. He did not stop the fucking Ukraine-Russia war. There is no, he didn't implement the no tax on tips. None of that shit that you guys fell for that Donald Trump did. But I can tell you what he did do. He started a movement to discredit my goddamn people. He started a movement when airplanes was falling out the sky to discredit black people by saying that somehow or another DEI caused these airplanes to crash. He started a movement by removing photographs of black people. He's also offering white South Africans, immigrants, migrants, to come to America and obtain their citizenship. But wait, I thought migrants was a problem. Well, migrants are a problem if you're not white. So whenever y'all say that Donald Trump is not racist, whenever I've been calling him racist, and you guys come on here and say, well, prove that he's racist. The fact that he's offering white only South Africans citizenship to America proves that he's a goddamn racist. Proves that your dumb black ass is so stupid that you can't understand or see racism right before your fucking very eyes. It proves me right about him being a racist. So, like I said, America is no more. Mandela Khan used to say that. This country that we live in now is a completely different country than we grew up knowing. Now, I have my criticisms of America and the Constitution and these laws and the way black people are getting treated in this country. And I stand by everything that I've said in the past. But this country has taken a completely different turn from the vile way it used to be. It's even got worse. This country is a different country. And I hope that none of us runs into it head on. Because if we do, it's going to be hell to pay. I don't know what else to say. You see these people emboldened on social media, confronting black people. You see the police officers emboldened, murdering black people. covering up evidence. This is a different country. And one of the guardrails that held it in place before was the justice system, was these attorneys, was these lawsuits, right? But now that he's done and bought the fucking Supreme Court, when I say bought, he put people on the Supreme Court. Now that he's got the Supreme Court in his fucking pocket, there ain't no telling what this motherfucker would do. There ain't no telling what he would do because they gave him immunity. Now listen, since I mentioned the Supreme Court, I heard something on the radio today about the Supreme Court, and there are oral arguments about the 14th Amendment. And it seems to me that that's a bridge too far for the Supreme Court. Let me see if I can find something on it. I can't find no articles on it, but this is what I tell you I heard, right? Is that Sarge would come on here and argue about the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship and being a natural born citizen or whatever the fuck he wanted to be, an alien or whatever the fuck. But the 14th Amendment is clear. If you're born here, you're a citizen, period. That's just what it is. And the Trump administration wants to take that away from migrants. Because they are migrants and they have a baby on this soil, Donald Trump, Sarge, and ABC are saying those babies are not citizens. That's just untrue. The parents aren't citizens. But that child is 100% American all day long. Even though he might grow up speaking Espanol or whatever the fuck he might speak, he's still an American. So Donald Trump and Sarge and all them want to take that citizenship right away from children born here in America. So that argument made it up to the Supreme Court. And what I've heard is the Supreme Court had a very heavy pushback on trying to rewrite the 14th Amendment. They hasn't made a decision on the 14th Amendment, but so far they are trying to seem like hold up the 14th Amendment and say the 14th Amendment says what it fucking says. If you're born here, you're a U.S. citizen, which proves to you again that all that arguing Sarge has done on here for Donald Trump and birthright citizenship, it tells you how stupid Sarge is. Because the Constitution is clear about what it says about 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. Now, Sarge will come on here with Semetics and say this is and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. The jurisdiction is where the fuck you was born. The jurisdiction is the area, the fucking laws, the place where if you was born in South Carolina, that jurisdiction, you're subject to it. If you was born in fucking Arkansas, you're subject to that jurisdiction. And you're also subject to the jurisdiction of the United States of America because you was born on this soil. So they want to argue this stupid Semitic shit don't make no goddamn sense. No state shall make or enforce any laws which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States of America, which means once that baby comes out of fucking womb and he's a citizen, there is no state shall make any laws which abridge the privileges of that child, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction equal protection in the law. This is when you're getting into deporting these migrants. Nor deny any person within its jurisdiction. Notice it didn't say any citizen. Any person within the jurisdiction equal process under the law. So whenever these guys come on here and argue this stupid shit from Donald Trump, and this is fucking 8th grade fucking reading, and I have to listen to Sarge ramble on about some dumb shit about how the Constitution supposed to say this, and there was a document in the fucking 1600s that was in, you know, the way you read it, that there was this guy in the 1600s that meant to say this. No, it didn't. It didn't meant to say shit. It says what the fuck I just read. Period. But the Supreme Court is arguing that they had all arguments. I think it was yesterday and today, and from what I heard, it sounds like the Supreme Court is like leaning towards supporting this damn document, which is what the fuck they raised their right hand to do anyway. So I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what the decision is going to be. You know, them conservatives on the Supreme Court could change this whole goddamn way we live in this country. You know, they really could. So that's what I heard with the Supreme Court today. And what did I done talked about every damn thing. Oh, P. Diddy. P. Diddy's in the news again, y'all. P. Diddy trial has started. And from what is being said, it's terrible. It's horrific. And we already knew this. We didn't really know it. Well, I didn't really know it until we seen that videotape of Cassie Ventura getting beat down in the hallway. Then that's when everything started connecting with me. 100%. I already knew it was a piece of shit. I already heard the rumors. You know, so, but whenever we seen that tape, that kind of validated the thoughts of how disgusting this individual is. I mean, it's the same old story of how in our community they use us, right? They know how to play us like fiddles. That boy, P. Diddy, knew that rap music, good songs, popularity, celebrity would have the black community on his side and make him rich. We see this shit every day. And that's what it did. It made him a music mogul. We bought his records. We listened to his songs. We supported his career. And he constantly used the black community to enrich himself. And that's probably what got a lot of people attached to P. Diddy, because he's a black businessman and he's out there making his way in this world. You know, and he made it. He did. He's very successful. But at the same time, he was a fucking monster. And the people, like I said, the same thing about the R. Kelly shit. People close to him knew who the fuck he was. There is no way you can do what the shit P. Diddy was doing, and these people close to you didn't know what the hell you was doing. There is no way. And I blame him, of course, But I blame the people closest to him for not bringing this shit to light. For not bringing this shit to light. But just like with every other situation, we are blinded by celebrity. We are blinded by money. We are blinded by fame, you know, and people just blindly support this guy. They really didn't care what P. Diddy did if they had a chance to be around him. Now, this is May 14th from CNN, and it says day 3 of the testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. It says Ventura details violent and controlling relationship with Combs. Here's a recap of her second day of testimony. During the testimony today, Cassie Ventura revealed in detail numerous times how her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs became physically violent. At one point, Ventura broke down in tears as she talked about going to rehab and trauma therapy in February 2023. She said she was having flashbacks during the shooting of a music video with another artist. She also said she was suicidal. Here's details of Ventura's testimony during her direct examination today. The details of a violent relationship. Ventura testified that the first instance of violence with Combs left her shocked, and further described multiple violent encounters with him, including being beaten after a party at the Los Angeles club, Combs security guards chasing her when she attempted to escape in 2018, encounter when she said Combs raped her. Can I say that? Well, sexually assaulted her. I'm sorry, YouTube. Sexually assaulted her in the living room. Ventura said that she felt trapped, citing Combs' access to guns, past threats, and that Combs continued to threaten her after the relationship ended. Violent behavior. Ventura said that she also witnessed Combs become physically violent with other people, including some of his employees. She said she recounted a time when she saw Combs punch someone in the head. Ventura also described seeing Combs hold her friend over the balcony railing at the Los Angeles apartment early in the morning. Ventura said an altercation with Combs led to an end of a 17-year friendship with her best friend in 2018. Kid Cudi relationship. Ventura says Combs lunged at her with a wine opener after learning she was dating rapper Kid Cudi during a freak-off in 2011. Combs told Ventura that Cudi's car would be blown up. She testified. At some point, his car was blown up. Witness to violence. Ventura testified early in the morning. In their relationship, Combs' security personnel and drivers saw him physically abuse her. In later years, she said the assistant, including one named Mia, witnessed the abuse of Ventura endured, and some assistant told her they quit after watching the violence. They were smart. Ventura sought help for drug use. Ventura said she was heavily dependent on opiates throughout the relationship with Combs. She said she sought professional help for the opiates used 5 or 6 times during the span of the relationship. She said she last did drugs in 2022 and no longer used narcotics. And then there was a lawsuit filed for $20 million after filing a civil suit in 2023. Well, there's a lot of testimony here. But I also heard during these days of testimony that they got this girl high Sean Combs invited multiple men to sleep with her, and she woke up to either a sex worker or a bodyguard, along with Sean Combs, urinating on her. And she testified that they urinated so much that she gagged on the floor and almost choked off of the urine. Now, this is just one witness. And it was reported too, so I got to be fair here. It was reported too that early on that Cassie said that she did not mind doing the freak offs. And that she continued to do the freak offs because she didn't want Sean Combs to be with nobody else. Now, I don't know how psychologically that plays into what all is going on here, but I've got to be fair, at some point in time, because I know people are going to say, well, she wanted it, but I don't think that she wanted it, because the influence and power that he had over her, was basically her livelihood. If she didn't do what he said, then she couldn't live the life that she was living, or she would get threatened and beat up. So the fact that she testified that she did it willingly at some point in time early on, that don't mean shit. I mean, it does mean something, but in the overall picture, because there's so many people involved, and we witnessed the abuse on video, and you have others testifying to the abuse, then yeah, that doesn't absolve him of any of the things that he's been charged with. And like I said, this is just one witness, right? So you got that going on, and I'm gonna shut up. I know I've been talking for a while. Miss Elisa, how you doing tonight? Okay, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. I was listening to you speaking. I agree with everything that you were saying. That plane that Donald Trump, that older plane that the Qataris, I guess that's what you call them, are trying to give him.
Mm-hmm.
They have been trying to unload their plane for a while now because they have newer ones. I know that they probably like we can embarrass the United States and the president because all you got to do is offer him something shiny and he will take it. It's so embarrassing. But yeah, they have been trying to unload that plane for a little bit here now. So it is. I say let them have it. Let them have it.
Let him
Just
have
tell
it.
them,
Why you say let him have it?
yes, let them have it. But there's some things that have to be put in place. They can't do any talking, any communications, anything in that thing. Because my understanding from what I've been reading, like you said, they have to take it apart down to the bolts to even have a chance of trying to find listening devices, kill switches, and things like that. That'll take some few years. Then they have to rebuild it to bring it up to speed. But let him have it. Let him ride around, fly around in it now. He want to use it as a Air Force One. Let him fly around in it now. But they just can't discuss any business or anything. Let it take him all over the world. That's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I heard that it was an
Let
older
him have
plane too, and I guess it's the king or
yeah.
the prince or somebody didn't want that plane, so
The king.
he's essentially getting hand-me-downs, and he's
Yeah, he
trashing
getting a
he's
hand me down
and
from
he's trashing
something
Air
they
Force
didn't
One.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah, so let him have it. I feel like people doing all this fussing about this stupid plane. Let him have it. They can take, I mean, because they're kind of listening devices, and there's all types of new hoo-ha-has that's out here that a lot of people don't know what's been invented, kill switches and all types of things. Let them have it. Let them fly around in it if you want to. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Yes, it's corruption to the tenth. It is what it is, but he can't help himself. Let him have it.
Yeah. Speaking of that, if he do, these are the same people that flew planes like this into the Twin Towers. So
Yeah, let him have it.
I don't know.
Let him have it. I don't see why you against it, Tyrone. Let him have the plane. Let them
Well,
fly him
I
around
agree with
with
the way you
wherever
putting
he
it,
wanna go.
but I just hate it for that office, and how it looks
No,
for the
I
president.
agree. It's a disgrace. I agree. It's a disgrace. But they've been stealing the entire time with them old Bitcoin, with those $1 million of playheads that come sit and meet with the president to get favors and stuff. I mean, they just grifting and stealing and robbing. They did when they were in office the last time, and they have taken it up a notch now. And that whole circus of him over there in the Middle East, and they were saying that Qatar and I think the what is one other the United of Arab that they're going to invest. He shouldn't have denounced him, and the dumb MAGAs 2 trillion into the United States. Okay, that country's GDP is 400 million. So, but anyway, they're going to invest 2 trillion into. And I mean, where's this money supposed to come from that all this investing is going on? Their GPD is 400 billion, but they're going to invest 2 trillion. And it's just all of a scam. Trump over there doing dealings on his golf courses and all the things they got going on over there. We all see what it is. So if he wants the plane, let him have it and fix it up some kind of way and let him ride around in it while he's president. Let him fly around in it and fix it up some kind of way where any information, anything that's discussed on it, it gets scrambled or something like that, so they can't get secrets and information. But let them fly around in it. Don't even take it apart and search it. Find a way to put something to scramble all communication or this and that. Find a way to do that. Don't take it apart down to the boat. Let it stay. Let him fly around in wherever he want to go. That's where I'm at with that. But Tyrone, I wanted to read something. Oh man, and see it done went away. Hold on. Something I wanted to read. Wait a minute. That I think it would be interesting to whoever's listening. I think it's very interesting. And I would hope our people, wait a minute. Okay, I just saw the damn thing. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, the White House responds to rumors of Trump pardoning Derek Chauvin amid the renewed call from Marjorie Taylor Greene. In a statement, the White House reacts to speculation about federal clemency after Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says the city should be prepared for it. Despite the previous dismissal from President Donald Trump and the White House, a federal pardon for Derek Chauvin, the ex-Minneapolis police officer convicted in the murder of George Floyd, rumors of a potential clemency have been renewed. As the 5th anniversary of Floyd's murder approaches later this month, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the Minneapolis officials have indicated that they are preparing for the possibility of a presidential pardon for Chauvin and the subsequent unrest in the city. I think it behooves us to be prepared. I think it behooves us to be prepared for it. With this presidency, it seems like there might be something they would do, Governor Walz recently told reporters, according to the Minnesota Star. Walz, who ran against Trump as Kamala Harris' vice presidential running mate in 2024 election, said his office received no indication whether the White House would issue a pardon for Chauvin, who was sentenced to 21 years after pleading guilty to federal charges for violating civil rights of George Floyd. Chauvin was also sentenced to 22 years in prison for second-degree murder at the state level. If Donald Trump exercises his constitutional right to do so, whether I agree, and I strongly disagree with him, says Wall, if he issues a pardon, we will simply transfer Derek Chauvin to serve out 22 and a half years in prison in Minnesota for offense. Minneapolis Community Safety Commissioner Tondrick Barnett acknowledged that any city officials have heard the rumors about the potential pardon. However, he similarly emphasized Derek Chauvin would remain behind bars, serving his state sentence, even if the federal charges are pardoned. He said in a statement that there was no credible intelligence about any pardon or planned disruptions here in Minneapolis. Discussion of potentially pardon Chauvin have been consistent since he returned to the White House in January. Conservatives have continuously called for the president to issue clemency for the disgraced officer. Republican U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene renewed the public campaign for Chauvin's pardon on Wednesday, writing on X, I strongly support Derek Chauvin being pardoned and released from prison. The conservative firebrand also falsely claimed Floyd died of a drug overdose, despite two medical examinations determining he died by homicide. Chauvin notably held his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes after Floyd's death, despite the unarmed black man saying repeatedly, I can't breathe. In response to the request for the comment, the White House official said the Trump administration will not comment on the existence or non-existence of any clemency request. In March, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters of a possible pardon. The president has been asked and answered this question. He said it's not something he's considering at this time. The president taking such action would be an about face to the position he took in 2020 as he was president when Floyd was murdered. It's a terrible thing, he said at the White House in 2020. We all saw what we saw. It's hard to conceive anything other than what we did see. It should have never happened. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, who led prosecution of Chauvin's state criminal case, said in a statement that President Trump has no power to pardon Chauvin's state conviction, and that the only conceivable purpose would be to express yet more disrespect for George Floyd and more disrespect for the rule of law. He said plainly, Derek Chauvin murdered George Floyd in front of the whole world. The reason I wanted to read that is because I saw a couple of bloggers who I do follow. They was like, one of them I don't follow after today was saying that if Trump were to pardon Derek Chauvin, that things that's going to pop off and it's going to get this, it's going to be that. So that would be the only reason to pardon him, is to see our community possibly pop off and possibly put our bodies in danger. I'm not popping off anywhere here in the DMV. But that would be the whole reason to do it, to give them a reason to do some of the things that we all heard that they want to do. And I was just very upset to see certain bloggers, one who I no longer follow after that video, that if it pop off, I'm going to be out there and I'm going to be, why would you put that out there? Our community have been doing pretty good with all the things that the administration has done, all of the, to get rid of the canceling, the this, the harsh treatment, the harsh language, the this, and so on and so forth. We have said we're resting. We're not putting our bodies in danger. White folks' turn. It's women's turn, white women's turn. We're not doing it. That's what they want us to do. And to see black people talking about how stuff is going to pop off. Why would it pop off? The only reason to pardon him on the federal level, which he's not going anywhere, I don't see why anybody would think he would be loose on the street. You think Governor Tim Walz is going to pardon Derek Chauvin on the state level? No. That's why he put it out there today. We'll just transfer him from the federal prison and put him in the state prison where he can serve 22 years. And the reason I'm putting this out, because I do agree with Governor Walz that that's something that the administration would do. He wouldn't put it past, but that's why they're telling people to maybe prepare. Maybe you might hear that. But look, this here what I'm gonna do. We're gonna transfer him from the federal penitentiary and lock his ass up here in the state for 22 years. And I just think that anybody that's listening or that will be listening, don't get stupid if Donald Trump pardons him federally. That's something that they would do. And they're trying to tick off our community. That's it, Tyrone. That's all. That's what I wanted to read.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm glad that the governor and the attorney general Ellis said that if the Trump administration does this, that he would definitely serve out his time in the state. So he's not going to get out of jail. But the optics of the federal government pardoning this guy, I can see it happening too. I really can.
I can see them doing it. Of course, I agree with Walz. That's why he spoke out. Now that it has surged back up, that he could see them doing that. And for the people to prepare yourself for that. But this here's what I'm going to do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't get out here and pop off with this and that. Derek Chauvin is not going anywhere. But from the federal, if they do that, we will just haul his ass into the state prison because he got 22 years to do here. So, don't pop off.
Trump ain't shied away from being a racist, and that's what they made this movement about. They made it about racism. They made the Black Lives Matter movement about racism.
Yeah.
When the Black Lives Matter movement was about police brutality and black people getting killed at the hands of the police, they turned it into racism. They came up with the White Lives Matter. They came up with the Blue Lives Matter. They made it about a black and white thing, and the conversation should have been about fair treatment for black people in this country. So if they pardon this guy, a lot of people will be upset, but I'm like you. I wouldn't say go get in the streets and do all this kind of crap because we already know.
I'll be upset.
Yeah. We already know that Donald Trump is a racist and he pandered to racist America. That's why he was taking the pictures down out of the White House. That's why he blamed the airplane crashes on black people because he's a freaking racist. Mama's boy.
Yeah, that's why he let the South Africans come over here. That's why he did. I feel like somebody comes. Murder. Oh, no. That's fireworks. I wish people would. Where to get them from? Y'all hear that?
What's that?
Fireworks.
I don't hear
I
no
don't know
fireworks.
where these kids.
Is that your? I opened Mama's boy line. Is that your line, Mama's boy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace, family. Peace, sister Lisa. Peace, Tyrone.
Hey, what's happening?
I got my window open and you hearing boom.
Oh, you got fireworks up your way.
Yeah, fireworks. I don't know where those kids. They must go to Virginia or someplace to get them because they're illegal in the state of Maryland. So I hate that. And then I don't know where they get those fireworks from. They can go to Virginia. But go ahead. That's all I'm
You
going
shoot
to
them
say.
fireworks that might be somebody popping off a cap.
No, it ain't nobody popping over no cap because I see this.
Okay.
Then it explodes. You can hear that. And those kids, I don't know where they get them from. They get them every once in a while. At least sometimes it be all up in the wintertime. They have fireworks. And I think they go to Virginia to get them. And you can hear them as,
oh, okay.
Wow. And if you look, you can look further up down the street, you see the statistics.
All right. Well, listen, Mama, before you go, sorry, just answer this damn question in the chat room. Should Derek Chauvin be charged? Should he be pardoned? Just answer that damn question. He got to go all throughout the damn. He was a drug dealer. What's up, Mama?
Tyrone,
You can go ahead.
That's the reason why I chimed in. I agree with Sister Lisa, but I wanted to put a couple of flavors out there. I think it's more distraction. More owning the libs, more look over to the left while I'm doing a bunch of shit on the right. Is because it ain't like he's going to get out of jail. That would really infuriate a lot of people. But I think it's just more owning the libs to get people clutching their pearls, get the libs clutching their pearls so they can, walk around with their chest out. Because to be honest with you, that would be the worst thing in the world for Donald Trump to do for Derek Chauvin. He's protected in that federal facility, and they got to him anyway. You send him to a state pen, he gonna die.
Well, yeah.
Leave him where he at.
I mean, we all watched the same video of that man purposely choking out George Floyd until he was not living anymore. And if anybody see anything else, there's something wrong with you. I don't know. Sarge is in the chat room talking about because of his health and his medication, because what George Floyd was on, that contributed to his death. That's that bullshit. George Floyd was walking around fine. Let's just say he was a stone cold drug addict and an alcoholic, and he had a needle in his damn arm, and whatever the fuck.
And a bad heart, and kidney problems.
That doesn't give a right a cop the right to kill him.
What I'm saying that day, without a knee being put on his fucking neck, he would still be living. So I don't see how they discount that.
But once again, Tyrone, somebody as stupid as Sarge would justify killing a man just because he was a drug addict. Sarge is okay with that. Sarge is okay with disenfranchising people because he don't agree with their lifestyle. Sarge is fine with that. I mean, hell, he voted for Trump. He good with that. He don't give a shit about women's rights. He don't give a shit about women, period. And all his entire campaign has been for the past 10 years is owning the liberals. That's it.
Yep, to hell with the country. As long as they can own the libs, hell with the country.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen this type of action over and over again with that little white boy killing people at a protest, and just the guy that got killed on the New York subway, Eric Garner. All of these things, we've seen how they just come out and support these people because of their white skin.
So I just hope that our people don't get stupid. That's all out there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I agree with you, sis. We need to stand down. We should stand down because it's just an attempt to get you to get upset. The young kids call it rage baiting, but I think that term means if you rage baiting, it means somebody's enraged, and I don't think we there yet.
What they're looking for, really, just like with the Black Lives Matter movement, you got headlines saying that black people was tearing up this country, they was burning down police stations, they was doing this and doing that. So what they're looking for is they wanting people to be enraged so they can go in the street, so they can point and say, look at them black people, look at how they acting. That's what they want.
Stick the military on them and do martial law and all of that.
That's the goal.
Don't give them, because Tim Walz already told you what he gonna do if it happens. So just go with that and go sit down.
Well, yeah, Trump can pardon him for federal charges, but that's just gonna move him faster into the state pen. They're gonna take him. See, the state pen is real life. You get your ass sent to the state pen, the inmates run that motherfucker. It's a little different in the federal pen. The federal pen is a little bit more. The word lax comes to mind, but they just have different procedures. The state pen in any state, that's where all the black people that Sarge don't like. That's where they at. All the rich white boys that do white collar crimes end up in the federal. But, you know, the regular drug selling, whatever you want to call it, gang member, they in the state pen. And Derek Chauvin go his ass to the state pen, ain't going to be that much protection for him. And it's not as much that's in the federal pen. Trump should shut the fuck up and keep that moving. But, you know, hey, I think he will do it. And Derek Chauvin is going to end up gone, which I wouldn't lose no sleep if somebody whacked him.
I mean, it is what it is. I just don't. I don't think. I think that, especially out in Minnesota, I think Walson has got a handle on that. Talk to the people. Look, this is what I'm gonna do. The Attorney General, this is what we're gonna do. So y'all stay home. Yeah, you get upset, go online and type it out. Get your frustrations out. Yeah. Maybe cuss somebody out in the store, but don't take to the street because he's not going anywhere.
Don't take the bait. That's right. Don't take the bait.
You can already see that this administration is corrupt and they don't give a shit about no laws. They don't. So why would somebody get upset whenever they continue to be corrupt and pardon this guy? So
well, check this out, Tyrone. This is what I want y'all to think about. Okay, he's already tried to take over this country with a martial law plan. He's already, you could tell what he did with Abrego Garcia is a test. It's not even really a test. It's like a slow walk to authoritarianism. He's trying to get emotions involved so it can appear that there's a problem, so he can invoke, you know, martial law and stay in as president with his jabroni pulling all the strings for him. But if we stay calm, stay cool, he'll never have enough ammo because as you see, the judges in these courts, they already told him, man, you wrongfully invoked the Alien Enemies Act, Enemy Aliens Act, whatever the fuck. He, you know, they're already ruling against him. It ain't looking good. He's trying to get enough fervor going in the country so he can do what he planned to do with the Project 2025. And as long as Americans stay calm and cool and focused, the Democrats are going to win the House in 2026. Yeah. And then we're going to deal with two years of impeachment because he's done a lot of shit that's impeachable. He's done this ain't no one-off thing. They got a plethora of choices to impeach him on. And as a matter of fact, 2 people have already introduced impeachment shit.
Well,
Al Green and another dude.
I don't want to bust your bubble, but I don't think they can impeach him, man, because of that Supreme Court immunity decision.
Well, no, Tyrone. That was the whole point of the Supreme Court immunity decision, is that the only people that can check that president
is Congress.
Yeah.
Right.
I got you.
Now, if enough of them turn on them, yeah, they can still drag him out. But yeah, I said martial law, but I meant to people because he wanted to be able to do the Insurrection Act.
Yeah, there you go.
Where he could stick the military on. Don't. Black people, don't give him the opportunity because there's just gonna be a lot of dead black people in the street. They have been trying us since he came in, getting rid of this, firing, taking down this, doing this, that, so on and so forth. Let them show their ass. There's so many people in his administration that if we're able to get a handle on this thing that's going to go to prison, he probably won't, but a lot of other people will. Don't you let them have you take your black body out there in the street and get killed or worse. No. Derek Chauvin is not going anywhere. He's staying in prison. He's staying in prison.
Don't take the bait.
Don't take that bait.
Yeah, they can't.
And that's why
we know.
And that's why I was upset with some blogger sitting up here. It's gonna pop off. It's gonna pop off this summer. Shut your stupid mouth. You out here telling black people no foolishness like that when Derek Chauvin is not getting out of prison. So, that's just the craziness. Ugh.
Derek Chauvin's probably sending a letter to the president talking about, don't pardon me, man. Leave me here. They stopped a whole bunch of people from fucking me up over here. Leave me here, man, because you send me to the state, ain't nobody gonna be there to stop it.
Nope.
Well, in that case, I hope they do impeach his ass.
Yeah, me too. I'm down with that.
They can if they so choose. He just gotta get more outrageous.
Yeah, he keeps pissing them Republicans off. They gonna do it. He keeps pissing them Republicans off. And every day
the house is gone in the next election. That's why people got to keep their wits about them. The house is gone. They lost that. That's why they're trying to do so much now. Before that time period comes, and much stealing and grifting and whatever can be done, because some of the things a lot of these different racist white supremacist groups that are in his ear, that's why they're trying to get him to get so much done. But they're not going to be able to get all that stuff done that they want to do.
Yeah, it's too much court is going to make it last too long. Too much court is going to stretch the time. He's going to get sued every time he does some dumb shit. And it's going to end up in court.
Over 100 days has already done passed by. Time flies when they think they having fun. And all these people out here messing themselves up, they're going to have a lot of people going to prison, and a lot of people has really jacked themselves with this. You have to be sure. I mean, they got to come out here like the brown shirts and the this and that to really take over, like Adolf and them, allegedly, in order for you to mess yourself up like this.
Well, I think Trump is building how can I say, like a secret military. And when I say secret, it ain't secret. It's ICE.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
It ain't secret, but it's ICE. But they starting out with the migrants, and they're going into schools, and they're busing people.
They're taxing.
Yeah,
they're taxing the people.
Yeah, and they're arresting people on the street.
Right,
so I don't know how far this is going to go, but ICE is going to do whatever the hell Trump say to do, and they're going to start.
And the fact that those ICE agents is covering up their faces and stuff now, we don't know who those people are.
They ain't even wearing the uniform. They don't have no badge, no number, no indication on who they are, nothing. So it's like a like you said, a hidden army, so to speak.
And they're gonna start violating. They're gonna start violating American citizens' right here shortly.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, they're already doing that. And a lot of people
you're right. They are.
And that's some of them people from January 6th. That's why they're covering up their faces and stuff. They don't want to be seen. It's about to get really Will Smith say jiggy out here.
Well, in a bit of good news, how about that mayor? Oh, not mayor. Well, yeah, mayor. In Omaha.
Well, how significant is that, man? I heard that he's in a red area, it's a Trump area.
That's very significant, Tyrone. That's deep red territory. And the amount of points that he won that election, people are fed up. And that's what I was telling you some time ago. We was like, no, we need the MAGAs. We need them to vote these people out. And if people need to take to the street, let black people, y'all stay back. Let them take it to the street. We need them people. That's very significant, that win. That is very significant. Because the person that won had been the mayor for a long time, winning old MAGA mayor. Talking all the talking points that they like to hear about transgender, about DEI. But I mean, the things are so messed up. They vote that woman out, put that black man in, and I forget how many points of margin that he won. That's very significant. Very significant. That's why people is talking about it.
Yeah, I would say just as significant as that woman on the Supreme Court that won that seat. The old boy finally conceded,
In North Carolina.
and yeah, and let
That
her
one too. Yeah.
let this
Let her.
shit like that are I think are like canaries in the coal mine of what 2026 is gonna look like.
Well, I
But
hope
stay
so,
alert. Stay
because
alert.
I think that they me, this is my opinion. I think that they cheated in this election, and I think that
I
they
don't
know
think.
how to pull the gears and get the results that they want during these elections. So I hope these systems ain't so screwed up to where it's constantly Republicans winning.
Well,
Nah.
I would say this, Tyrone. Just throw this out there. Trump and like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they even at odds now. And I'm saying that to say that if Trump continues to shit on his base, they're gonna be the ones to vote him out. They're gonna be
What
working
you
so
mean,
hard to
Marjorie?
keep
Wait a minute, hold
Democrats.
on. What
You
do you mean,
know,
Marjorie Taylor Greene is at odds with Trump?
well, she can't win in her district as a congresswoman anymore. She's probably gonna get
No,
voted out of there. So she's trying
she's
to
told.
shift and go to the Senate. But she been told and been showed that she'll get blowed out if she goes into the Senate. So she kind of like stuck. All that hard work, all that dick sucking she did for Donald Trump is proven to not be a win for her, and she's probably going to be facing insider trading problems once the Democrats take over the House. She's
Well,
gonna have a problem.
I just don't see Marjorie Taylor Greene being against Trump. Now she's
She,
mouthy and all that kind of shit, but she's a white supremacist, and
oh, I agree.
she
But I
gonna.
think Trump
I
ain't
agree.
doing enough for her white supremacist following. And that's why she's speaking up, because Trump ain't being white supremacist enough for her, which to me kind of like pigeonholes her. She's stuck in an odd spot. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know she gonna vote Trump anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
people like her may not. People like her that are on the fringes and may have bought into it a little bit are pissed. Farmers are pissed. Business owners are pissed. You talking about fucking up supply chains for people with all these tariffs and shit. And once you lose your supplier, you might as well go and get out of business. You might as well go. That's it. It's a wrap. You're gonna be looking around for more suppliers, and the way Trump got it set up, ain't gonna be nobody there until them tariffs go away. So Trump has kind of got everybody in his small circle, the little small jabronis that love him. Trump is constantly screwing them. Now, after a while, they'll take it. So we know Sarge wants it. Sarge might want the R word, really, but after a while, there are some people in those groups that ain't quite as bought in as Sarge. And I think they have a potential of turning the tables, of voting Trump out, voting the Congress to be
These
Democrat.
people are in these red states, they fussing and fighting right now. But you cut them people Medicaid and they snap. They talking about putting that beautiful bill.
Yeah,
Them red states. And them red states, they need that Medicaid because blue states will be able to take care of their people somewhat.
Yeah.
But the red states, they won't be able to. They cut them people Medicaid, gut Medicaid, take them people SNAP. Yeah, you gonna see people grab a phone.
I may be wrong, but I just think that these people just that damn stupid, Elisa.
You're not wrong for thinking that, Tyrone. I mean, we listen to mad motherfuckers over here every night, so I can understand, your pessimism, Tyrone. I can understand that, but I don't know, man. The human survival, innate survival. Man, people get pissed off when you start fucking with their survival.
You right about the economics and the medical care and all that kind of stuff, but the element that we ain't talking about is the religious element, right? So
Right.
these people look at Donald Trump as their savior. I mean, literally, they look at him as
Not
some.
all of them, Tyrone. Not all of them do. Not all of them do.
But see,
A lot
all
of them
of them,
do.
all of
But
them
he's
has been programmed to believe that Democrats are demons and they drink blood and all this kind of religious bullshit. Yeah,
not.
listen, that
But
is
not
something that is
all
a
of them
real.
do.
That is a real thing that these people believe now.
No,
But trust.
Tyrone, you make a good point. I could be standing out on a limb, but I'm just what I'm observing. Like I found something. I'll have to go and look it up. But yeah, Margie was pissed off at Trump. And she was calling
and Laura
she was calling it, yeah,
and
she was
Laura
calling
Luma
his ass
and
out.
Laura Luma too. Laura Luma, she pissed off at him.
I
So,
seen her being mad. I
don't
forgot
get
what
it
she was
twisted.
mad about.
Now, don't get it. She was mad about that damn plane and them South Africans.
Oh
Now,
yeah, that plane pissed off a lot of Republicans. You heard Ted
lot of
Cruz
them.
talking about that shit.
And Lindsey Graham with his scaredy cat not wanting to be put out the closet. All of them had something to say. But yes, I agree with you, Tyrone. There's a lot of ignorance, but his base is steadily crumbling away. And when you take away MEMA and PPAW, health insurance, and they snap, you already got the job situation screwed. You're going to peel off even more. And that's why you have to watch those elections in them deep red areas where the Democrats is picking them up. That's very important. You have to look at Marjorie Taylor Greene when she did her town hall. Them people was up in there fighting. Somebody had to get maced and dragged out. That's the stuff that you have to pay attention to.
Well, I hope they come to their damn senses, but I mean, shit. They don't have to support Democrat or whatever, but they don't need to vote for that motherfucker no more.
They
nobody like him.
Slowly. They cut some of them, not all of them, because you're not gonna get all. You're not gonna get them all. Because I have a black friend, or I'm not even gonna call him a friend. I'm gonna just call him an acquaintance. He's MAGA. And the only reason I don't mess with him in person or anything like that anymore. But I just kind of want to see where his mind is at. It's a couple of them. So I just remain friends with them on Facebook, even though I fool with them in person and things like that no more. I don't want to be in your company. But the main thing that they are happy about, and when you bring up all of the different things to them, they go, well, somebody has to fix that. Yeah, that was wrong, but somebody got to fix it. And you say, well, who gonna fix it? They in control of everything. The main thing that these two are very happy about is what's happening to the transgender community. And I'm like, y'all got kids and grandkids and stuff. Y'all want to just throw away everything because you are against transgenders? To me, that's mental illness. You are against transgenders. If that's not you, if that's not your community, let them people be. You're willing to throw away all of your children and grandchildren's future because you are against transgender. To me, that's craziness. They are a very small community. That's craziness. And that's why those two are hell on whatever. Long as you just stop all this transgender stuff, like you got to be kidding me. The whole world isn't going to turn into trans. So everybody's not going to be there. That's not my community. Let them people be. But
yeah, but
sometimes you have to.
That stuff work during the election.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to see what little things that some people just stuck on. You're like, and I was asking one of them, and I was like, didn't your 401k get screwed over when all this is going on? Yeah, but they said they're going to do something about your transgender. Are you not?
See, that's that type of mentality that I'm talking about right there. You ain't going to change that person, man.
No, they're not going to change him. And I saw some of his family members was saying, we knew y'all was Republican your whole life, but the fact that y'all don't fell into this MAGA stuff is absolutely insane. And some people, sometimes you just give them a little bit. You got a lot of white people who they will cut Nemo and people's Medicaid and stamp in rural bum F wherever America, and they out there starving, and they will be like, well, the black people over in the next town, theirs got cut, so I'm happy. You know, you're gonna have people that is just completely, and they say that we have Trump derangement syndrome. No, y'all do.
Yeah, they do. They always have. That's just projection. That's why they said it to us, because that's what the hell they were displaying. Because look at Sarge. This motherfucker got Trump derangement syndrome. He been supporting Trump in his chat room all goddamn night. So he support Trump so much to where he's deranged. You know, so they project that at us. They call us Trump derangement, but that's exactly what they are.
And some of those people, you're gonna lose them. Oh well. If you can't see the grift and the foolishness and the hate that's going on, we'll stay lost. A
I
lot of
found
the
it,
black
Tyrone.
baggers, huh?
I was just telling Tyrone I found it. It's Yahoo News. Marjorie Taylor Greene turns on Trump administration. Look that up, brother, so you can dig up in there.
Let me pull it up, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Turns on Trump administration. It's Yahoo News. It was 2 days ago. Newsweek
I'll
got
read
some
it.
shit. MSNBC got some shit. The Daily Beast got some shit. Man, Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like a caveman. Sorry.
Yeah, she looked like a transgender. You know, nothing against transgenders.
She looks like she looks like a Neanderthal. That's
Yeah,
what she looks
exactly.
like.
I'm saying she looked like when you go to those exhibits and they got the caveman, wax caveman.
Yeah.
They actually got a
Look,
meme out there with Marjorie Taylor Greene beside that wax caveman. They look just alike. She's a bad. She's a bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
butch body. You forgot the word bitch. You know, that's the only thing left out.
She looks just like a Neanderthal because that's just how she acts. That's just how. Yeah, there's a plenty of arguments. She's furious over the Ukraine minerals deal. She is furious because the base is turning against him. There's a whole plethora of articles about this. Can't read them all, but yeah, it's true. She unleashes a laundry list of complaints against the Trump administration. She mad about her situation. Where is she from? Georgia?
Yep.
And Tyrone, your favorite son, Nancy Graham. Yeah, that's the picture right there, Tyrone. She looks just like that Neanderthal.
That's crazy how she looked like that, huh?
She looks just like it. She probably got a lot of Neanderthal DNA all just swirling. Well, let me stop because black people, us being black Americans, we probably got a little piece too. But because most black Americans is mixed, but got little piece got some Caucasian in them. I know I do. Anyway, but she probably got a lot of Neanderthal DNA floating around up in her. Just a hot mess. But yeah, America as we do it is gone for right now, Tyrone. It is. And how are they gonna host the Olympics? And what is it? The World Cup is supposed to be coming here. And you heard what he is the stupidest person what's the food? JD Vance. We're talking about, but when it's over, you have to go. You have to get your thing to get out. Is that? I bet if they had it to do over again, World Cup Association and the Olympic Association, they would not allow America to host any of that stuff because America has gone rogue.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump has ruined this country. And across the world, America. I mean, people don't trust us no more, and he's really screwing up because these countries that he's counting out, they're starting to do deals with other countries.
With China and these other places.
These institutions that he's attacking. Do you think that those people with those college degrees is going to stay here in America? No, they're going to go to other countries, and they're going to have all the educated people in there. He's running people out of this country. He's dumbing down our education system. I mean, this country, I don't know if we can take 4 years of this bullshit.
And I wouldn't doubt that every last one of those Afrikaners that's coming from South Africa are going to end up on public assistance.
They will, but I don't think they're going to stay because I saw some videos of some Afrikaners from over there, and they was telling the American people, the ones, because I think it was 49 that came, and it might be a handful more. The bulk of them are not coming over here, the ones with the money. They said the ones that they sent are not the elite, are not the ones with money. And they said, they're just going to let America know that's who you're getting. And I believed every word of what they were saying. And I'll tell you why. Because I saw what they showed, what they looked like when they got off the plane. A lot of them, when they got off the plane, some of them is fat and sloppy. White folks with money don't look like that. They just don't. And they sent the slugs, we get the slugs over here. The Afrikaner slugs over here, and they letting them come. That's just to test the water. And you let them, because the ones with money and the elite, if they truly had to get the hell out of South Africa, they would just go to Europe. They're not coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna go back home.
Yeah, they go back home.
I don't know what's going on in South Africa. Are they killing them white people over there? I know that they taking
No, that president down there just ain't letting them have the land. See, what they have is about 75% of the land, and they want all of it. Sister Miss Lady gave us a video to watch last night, and we played it. And yeah, they own about 75% of the land or 70% of the land. They want all the land, and them brothers ain't hearing that. So they telling them white folks, just like that president in Zimbabwe and Torre, and get your shit and get the fuck on.
And get out, because the thing is, it's not that they're taking land from them that they're actually cultivating and farming and things like that. That's not what's happening. It's land that hasn't been used, and it's just sitting there derelict. Yes, it's probably owned by some white Afrikaners, but it hasn't been used in who knows how long. And they're saying we're going to repatriate that land back to who it belongs and let the black farmers get some of that, and they can farm and do, but they don't want that. Nobody's not killing them. Now, I'm not saying one or two of them didn't have a disturbance and somebody got killed, but that's going to happen. But nobody's killing them.
Trump called it a genocide. Trump said they get
He's
genocide.
A liar, and he get that from Elon Musk. If it was a genocide, the bulk of all them South Afrikaners over there with money, they would leave. They ain't going nowhere. All of that is just a lie. And it's not going to be many of them coming over here. It's not going to be that many of them.
The real genocide is what Elon Musk is doing to Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he fails.
That's the real genocide.
I hope he fails. I hope he fails. I do not like that man.
But this is like people was telling them, y'all jump and come over here like this. America is so different. from South Africa. The people of color, black, Latino, whatever, they're different. The people, especially those who are citizens, they're different from the Africans, the indigenous, the natives over there. It's not gonna be what y'all think. Trump, I promise y'all think that he gonna let y'all come because America is gonna turn into a South Africa or a Nazi era Germany or something like that. It's not gonna be that. You liable to get beat down in the street by a MAGA. You get it because they don't want you here either. Because he told them wasn't nobody coming over here. I think a lot of them are gonna go back.
Yeah, I
Depends
mean,
on how
all
many
of this migrant talk, this anti-migrant talk, this anti-immigration talk, and all of a sudden, because they got white skin, you can come to America. That's just racism right there. That's all that is.
And they thinking it's
Guarantee
gonna
you.
be one way. It's not gonna be the way that they thinking it's gonna be. The people are different in America. And that's what the South African people over there, the white Afrikaners and the white people I've seen a lot of them talking about it. They think it's gonna be one way when it's not. And they said they expect that it depends on how many end up over here, they're gonna end up going back.
But how come Sarge and ABC ain't up in arms of that immigration?
Because they white.
Right.
Sarge and
Go.
ABC is white. Inside.
Go. Hey, I believe it.
Who's this unknown caller here? Hello? Who's this caller?
Yeah, hello everybody. How are you?
What's up,
Peace, Joe? Peace. What's up, man?
Yeah, hey, Sarge actually hit upon hang on. Okay, yeah. So Sarge actually hit upon an interesting topic where he talked about they were seizing the land from these guys, against the law or something. But the question is this, when you have a regime that's built upon the exploitation of the people, does in the regime changes in favor of the people, do they owe those folks who profited off of the backs of the people anything? And that's a question, I think that needs to be asked around the world. If you have a whole societal system that's built off the oppression, the labor, the oppression, and the backs of the people, and that government goes away, and the people take over, do they owe anything to that previous regime?
No.
No.
A plane ticket to get the fuck out the country.
They don't owe them nothing. Because Elon Musk was speaking with Don Lemon. Remember when Don Lemon was going to have a show on X?
Yeah.
And it all fell apart because Don saw the light. This is not going to work. And I saw the video with him talking to Elon Musk. I'm going to look it up for you to play it, Tyrone. And Don, that was the first show that Don Lemon did. And he said, it was like looking in the face of the devil. He said, because Elon was looking at him like, well, what about the genocide of the white South Afrikaners in South Africa? Do you care about that? And Don Lemon looked at him like, this man, and that's what he said. He realized this is not going to work. I cannot do a show over here. I build my own platform, and he had to let it go. And Elon, to me, was just like the devil. I'm gonna pull it up, Tyrone. I'm gonna send it to you. That was one of the worst looking things I had seen in a long time. It was just awful.
Well, Sarge seems to be advocating for that apartheid regime, compensating the owners of these farms, for having their land appropriated.
Nah.
So calling Sarge, because, I'm really curious, maybe I'm misstating him, as he says that, we tend to do, but I would suggest calling in and clarifying your position, Sarge.
Well, now, let's be fair here. What's fair for the white South Africans, right? Now they moved to South Africa. I don't know what year, but it was in 1800s, wasn't it? Or do y'all know?
I don't know.
So let's say it was the 1800s. Do those people should those people have rights in South Africa? Because if you say no, then that means that even though we was forcefully brought over here, we're in the same situation in a foreign land over here in America. So at some point in time,
Similar, because we don't own 70% of America's land.
yeah, we don't own shit now. That's the truth. So, but I'm saying, like, if you look at the timeline, if people showed up over there that long ago, then don't they have some type of claims to that area? And the unfairness come right whenever those people, the South African, what y'all call them, the Afrikaners,
Afrikaner, yeah.
whenever they're getting financially supported outside of Africa, they're not making that own money. People are shipping those buildings over there, not shipping, but people are shipping the money over there, shipping materials over there, so they can build up South Africa to look like it is. And you can see the difference between South Africa and the rest of the continent. Now, some of the rest of the continent has built up some because I've seen some nice cities, but South Africa has that extra push from European countries.
Right. I mean, all you got to do is look at Johannesburg.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make the question a little bit easier to answer. You know,
Yeah.
if they created a world just for white people and kicked the indigenous people the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah.
So there has to be some correction for that, and I think what they doing over there is probably a means to correct that. Let's repatriate this land back to who it belongs to.
They wrong. They wrong for the apartheid. They're wrong for what they did in South Africa. They are absolutely 100% wrong for that, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if they've been over there,
they got rights. I understand.
I mean, and then you have to draw a line between what's fair.
I don't think you should infringe on their rights, but I mean, hey, we got eminent domain here. So I think all the hubbub is made up by the whites over there. When they losing power. I don't think. Yeah. I don't think anything. I don't think they over there like killing them in the street. You know what I mean? I just think they trying to right what's wrong. I just think they trying to right what's wrong.
I think that's part of the reason not Mandela but Mandela sat in jail was for that situation over there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Apartheid officially started in 1948.
Right, but I'm saying, when did the white Africans get to Africa?
Oh, they have been up. You talking about them old?
I explained the whole thing. I'm very familiar with it.
Oh, what's up, Sarge? How you doing, man?
Now let me say, I wasn't going to call in until Joe seemed to
say hello. Can you say hello?
No. Since he was actually making an actual statement, like he actually wanted to have a conversation. Now, I don't know if you guys...
We are, but damn, it starts with hello, everyone. And we all say, hey,
hold on, let him get it out. Let him get it out.
Fucking trash.
See what I mean?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, man.
Once again, I came in to see if you want to have an actual conversation rather than an insult fest. Because if you want to have that, I'll just go and you keep having your insult fest.
Go ahead, man. You got the floor. Go ahead.
All right, so look. There's a history here. Let me deal with the history first. Just the facts. I'll be brief. Then we'll go on to the situation of apartheid and what the ANC is doing now. First of all, there are two classes of white people in South Africa. There are Dutch Boers, who are the descendants of Dutch settlers who settled in the Cape of Good Hope in the 16th century. They and their ancestors descendants rather, have been there for over 400 years. Now, I don't know how you could be much more native to a region than to be there for 400 years. Now, the British white settlers then start coming into the region that the Boers settled after the Transvaal trek, the Boer trekkers who left the Cape of South Africa because they couldn't get along with the British, and they went and settled in the Orange Free State. They didn't come along till the 19th century. Early in the 19th century is when the British came there. So you got two different factions of white people who didn't like each other very much. And in fact, they fought a bloody war called the Boer War in the late 19th century. But I digress a bit. Let's talk about the Dutchmen who've been there for 400 years. That's longer than black people have been in the United States. 400 years they've been there. They are native to that region. The people that region settled in had originally been inhabited by the Khoisan, who were like Bushmen or Hottentots, as the Dutch called them. And they were wiped out by the Bantu. The Bantu came in and took their lands. And then they moved out because they couldn't do anything with it. Well, that's where the Boer trekkers went to and set up South Africa. It was sparsely populated. Black people came into the country after the Dutchmen settled it, and they saw the economic opportunities therein. That's how the area that the Dutch originally founded got a large black population. Now, look, I'm not trying to say they were nice people to the black people, because they weren't. They had their interests. They fought bloody wars with the Africans, just like the United States fought with the Indians, and they lost. You know, when you lose a war, you get conquered. That's the way things are. It's ugly, but it's the truth. It's the same thing everywhere around the planet. Now, let's look at what's happening with the ANC now. It is an exaggeration to call what's happening to the Boer farmers now genocide. It isn't there yet, but the groundwork is being laid. You got that Economic Freedom Party with that crazy bastard, what's his name, Julius Malema, getting in the stadium, the soccer stadium, at halftime, with thousands of people chanting, "Kill the Boer, shoot the Boer." Now, the South African government doesn't seem to be directly implicated in the murders of dozens of South African farmers. But what it appears to do is they're keeping a loose rein on it. And when these farmers get murdered, they use it as an opportunity to seize the land and redistribute it without any court fuss. That's what they're doing. Now, it's only a short step from that to genocide. I repeat, genocide is not happening right now, but murder surely is. And asylum, these people are getting asylum, a whole 59. We're being flooded with Boers. Oh, my God. 59 South Africans. Ain't nothing like 12 million South Americans, I guess, but still, it's something to be alarmed about. 5 dozen South Africans. But 5 dozen South Africans, all of them, went to the United States embassies and the United States consulates. They applied for asylum at U.S. consulates the way you're supposed to. They were granted asylum under existing immigration law, came in the United States, and the horror of horrors, they were waving American flags and grateful being allowed to come in the country. Didn't see one South African flag in the bunch. How about that? You got to kick them out.
Well, I don't know what South Africa you're talking about, Sarge. In 1652, the Dutch Boers came into South Africa. That area of land was peopled by black Africans. They encroached upon that land. They killed over 100 million South Africans. Cecil Rhodes, Leopold. And when I talk about South Africa, those borders weren't created that we're looking at today. We could say that all of South Africa was attacked. That goes all the way up to damn near the Sahel, the Congo, all on the East Coast. these Europeans have been taking the wealth from the land and pushing people, the predominant population of people, into small shanty towns. Soweto being one that was infamous in the 60s, where they killed all those young black students, the apartheid regime. And that is what we're really looking at, is empires on the decline. That's what we're looking at. And we need to step back and look, because it's time. It's time. The exploitation of the people here in the Americas is the same thing that went on in Africa. These Europeans, the conquistadors, the pilgrims, and whoever else those colonists were that came into the Americas, they did the same thing that's happened in South Africa and all over the continent of Africa, where these Europeans come in and take everything and leave the people with nothing. It's a new day. That's all. People have a different consciousness. I hope you hear me. I don't hear nothing.
I want to add.
Okay.
I want to add to that. I found an article. It's on. Hey, what's up, Sister Mays? It's from theconversation.com. And the title of it is "What Genetic Analysis Reveals About Ancestry of South Africa's Afrikaners." And partway through the first part of it, it says, ironically, despite Afrikaners' admixed roots, they rose to notoriety for their draconian laws that aim to segregate groups of people, apartheid, right? To allow discrimination against those not of European descent. So, Tyrone, my answer to the question is kick their ass the fuck out of there. Take their shit and kick them the fuck out of there. Because it'd be a different story if we Africans here in America got control of the country and just started shooting white folks in the street. That would be an equivalent to what I just read with these crackers coming in the late 17th century, pushing their weight around. And 400 years later, they still there. And niggas is tired of it.
Hello. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, Sister Mays. See, I like the way you came in. You said hello, Sister Mays.
Well, you okay? Yeah, your sister Ottawa was right. I'll get you, Maze. But I forgot all about the Berlin Conference and the scramble for Africa. That was South Africa was taken during that time. So what Sarge is saying about those
Not
people.
during the Berlin Conference, no, before. We talking about 1652 is when the Dutch Boers came into South Africa.
Yeah.
And it was bloody.
So when Sarge is talking about they've been there for 400 years, they went and took that land.
Well, they've been there sometimes. There's no doubt about that.
No, I'm saying, but the way they went about obtaining that land was through violence. So it ain't like that they migrated.
Through violence, absolutely. Yeah. It wasn't no friendly encounter, not at all.
So Sarge,
the same can be said for the indigenous in the Americas. Absolutely.
And Sarge is talking about 49 farmers, so I'm gonna use his number. The 49 farmers is minuscule in compared to the black deaths that's happened in this goddamn country in recent years, and the black people that get killed by police. I mean, shit.
But that's not what's happening in South Africa.
Yeah, let me.
It's not violent.
Let me get Maze and then Sister Nobody. So go ahead, Maze.
It's a play called Arania, and it's got 3,000 people, and they moved from the places that are losing because of their laws. They changed the laws, so they got to get off the land. So they moved to
Arania.
And the man,
Arania.
Apartheid. This was a plan that he had. So it's whites only. This is what they wanted. Only want white people, but they don't want white criminals. They just want people that hadn't committed crimes. So I'm saying when we saw the airplane of people come over here, they could have went there. But maybe they must be criminals. So are they bringing some more criminals to this country?
That's a good point.
Because they're not having no problem.
That's a good point. We don't know what they are.
Just when I saw that, and they said they got 3,000 people, and they only want white people, but they don't want criminal white people. So they had a choice. If they're criminals, they couldn't go there. So they're gonna bring them over here for asylum. Asylum from what? So
I just told y'all before May said that the Afrikaners, the white ones from over there, they have been speaking out. They were saying that they sent us the judge. That's the judge. And you can look at Afrikaners with money and the ones that got off that plane. They're telling the truth. They said, America, just so long as y'all know who you're getting the judge of the Afrikaners. I just said that.
So Sarge got pity for them. And the man, when they got off the plane, the guy gonna say, plant some seeds. What kind of seeds do we plan on? And now they can't say nothing about the border because they brought an airplane full of them in here. Had no reason. Some they already been, everything that they needed to do was already done. That was a plan.
Isn't that the same thing they did with the Haitians? Brought Haitians over in that truck trying to. That's crazy.
The Haitians didn't have no place to go. They was running for real.
Man, let me tell you something. Those Jamaicans and Haitians that's over here, man, America full of shit. Down here at this beach, that's who they got working in the restaurants, in the hotel, and they don't seem like they want nobody else. So what I surmised is that these white people want to be served by people that's got accents. It makes them feel like they in a foreign place. That's just me, you know. But I'm telling you, man, if you ever visited outside the country, you feel a certain way when you get served by somebody with an accent.
Yeah.
But down here at Myrtle Beach, they got all of these people, the Haitians and Jamaicans, working in the restaurants and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, they doing good. I say get your damn money. But they ain't trying to get rid of these damn people. They ain't. And I asked a couple of them, are y'all worried about being deported? And they told us, they was telling me how their status, you know, kind of protects them from what Trump is talking about and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. But let me get Sister Nobody.
Okay, so I'm leaving. And that's all I had to add to the conversation. So
all right, nice to hear from you, Mace.
You're incorrect again. And hello, nobody. I'm leaving, so y'all have a good one.
Hey, everyone. Hello.
What's happening?
Hello. You know Sarge likes to lie.
Hey, Sister
We only been here for 400 years. Hey, we only been here for 400 years. That's a blatant lie. Shout out to the brothers on TikTok. They are bringing up the receipts of the land that was stolen from the dark-skinned people and given to the military, acres of land. And the relocations of people and the name changes of people from colored to from Indian to colored to Negro, just to enslave them. So we've been here. A lot of us has been here longer than 400 years. So just stop that narrative. But anyway, I'm going back in the cut.
All right. Yes, sir. You kind of misrepresented your information when you came on here talking about those poor South Dutch people that went to Africa, man. I mean. You done got slashed down 4 or 5 different ways on this phone tonight. You know, it was a brutal takeover. Whenever those people took that land down there, and you was talking about they got conquered, so they should just deal with it. I don't think that's the case. You know, if that was the case, then you wouldn't be in support of. What am I trying to say?
He would be in support of Putin going into Ukraine.
You would that too. You would be in support of the Mexicans in this country and their claim to certain lands, and the Native Americans' claim to certain lands.
All of that, Tyrone.
Yeah. So you just supporting these people because they white, man. That's what the bottom line is.
That's right.
Oh, he got nothing to say.
Well, I think he hung up. But that's interesting. Yeah, y'all, and you say it was what was it called before the Berlin Conference, Sister Ottawa?
Yeah, it was the Berlin Conference that the Europeans divvied up the continent of Africa for their personal benefit. They needed the minerals and all the good that Africa has, raw materials, the foods that are grown. There's a video out of a sister that's from Cameroon, and she speaks to the fact that they had grow much vegetation for food, for human consumption that they never eat, food that they don't even have an opportunity to partake in because it's shipped out to European countries. Europe is a continent that doesn't have a lot of variety of vegetation naturally grown. Africa is abundant. Every tree grows a fruit along with its medicinal values. It's so there's a lot. There's so much in Africa that the people don't partake in. They don't benefit from the wealth that's being taken from the land. And it's just time for a change. And you see that in Europe, that even the British Empire, it's falling. We might not pay attention to it because we using these European dollars and for trade and whatnot, but there is a change coming on. The power that once they have no more, because of people's consciousness being raised. And that's what we see now in Africa. There's 70% of the population here in Africa, and I'm talking about the entire continent. It is a continent with 54 countries, with millions of people who have been displaced, moved around at the will of Europeans so that they can access valuable materials that they don't process on the continent of Africa. They process those things in their country. They employ people to process it, okay? That has not been going on the continent. The Africans haven't benefited from factories being built to process the natural resources, So
Sister Ottawa, let me ask you this right here. What do you think should happen with the white Afrikaners in South Africa?
I think they should go home. I think they should go back home. Maybe this is what we're looking at. Maybe this is what we're looking at, because they are trying to figure out what can be done to stop the momentum that is taking place on the continent.
Even after they've been there for centuries, you think they should go home?
Oh, for sure, I think they should go home peacefully. That's the way they should go home, yes. And the wealth reverts back, because even with apartheid being abolished, Europeans are still running the financial
Yeah, they still
part.
got power, yeah.
They own the mines. They own all the areas where they can draw these resources. If apartheid had left for real, that means that everything would have reverted back to the people, which it hasn't. We still have Soweto and other shanty towns where African people are living, not in a way where it promotes well-being. They don't have a lot, It has served the purpose for the Europeans to thrive. The way, even if you just talk about how the French have taken over the economy, African countries have to go to France to get loans to do the things that they want to do. And it's their money. It's their wealth. That doesn't make sense. Why is France holding the wealth in their banks? That doesn't make sense. So now we have young people who don't, traveled and become educated, and they're beginning to see differently that, a change is needed. And
Time's
that's
up.
what's happening.
Time's
And
up.
empires come and go. Okay.
Time's up for them motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, okay, you say that they need to leave, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as them leaving if they've been there for 400 years or so. They've established like a home there, hasn't they?
Well, look at what they're doing here to the immigrants in the Americas.
Yeah.
People who have been here for generations, they're taking their wealth. They don't give a damn about what they've contributed to this society. They want them out of the country. This land belongs, USA, the Americas belong to the indigenous people.
Yeah, and
there were people here.
What gets me is they kick Mexicans out and tell them to get out of America, but Mexico is in America. Canada is in America.
Yes,
this whole fucking continent is America, but we're the only one claim the name America. That is weird to me.
No, it's not. I mean, what you're saying is very true. South, Central, and North America, Canada, all of that is North America.
Yeah.
Which was populated by indigenous people.
Yep.
And Mexico.
They said 100 million Indians were killed.
Nonsense.
When these Europeans came onto the land.
Yeah, they got it bad. Because I think the Native American population is like, I don't know, 3 or 4%. They kind of that was a genocide.
What happened to all those boarding schools? You know, if you look online, you see a bunch of boarding schools where there were Indian children. Mm-hmm. Where are those people at? I mean, there was a bunch of them.
They killed them people off. And nobody talks about that, but they killed them damn people.
Hey, they used remember the smallpox blankets they gave the indigenous people, that helped kill them off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's terrible. Because if you got somebody that's native to this land and their population is the smallest, something happened to their ancestors.
Yes, they all got whacked.
Yeah. Because it ain't like they don't know how to produce. They can reproduce.
Hey, Sarge say 100 million is bullshit. I heard it.
That's all right.
You can hear me now? That
Go
is
ahead.
bullshit.
What
Ain't
you
no
got?
doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Let me tell you something. That might be true for South America with the Mesoamerican Indians, the Aztecs, the Peruvians, and the others. But in North America, all of the archaeological evidence indicates at maximum there were no more than 8 million Americans living on the North American continent. That's the whole goddamn thing. That's just a little bit more than in Chicago for the whole continent. Now, even if you don't want to believe that, I'll give you double that. Make it 16 million. There ain't no way in hell 16 million people can occupy all of America when a great deal of them were nomadic peoples. That's crazy.
Sarge, you're at disbelief.
This is what I mean. You don't respond to what I say. You just say something's wrong with me. Okay, let me go on.
Well, no, listen. Before you talk, because I know you're gonna take a while. Hold on. And you rarely do that for me. Okay, but let me just say this right quick, and then you can say whatever the hell you want to. Do you know how savage these damn white people that came to America was?
Yes, I understand.
Shut the hell up. They used to burn people, hang people, eat people. These people were fucking savages, Sarge. So whenever you talk about so many died, you can't get an accurate count of how many people those people killed.
Right, I know. So you just make something up. You can't get an accurate count. You just make up something.
What I make up?
Can I say something like you've been letting these other people go on?
What the hell did you make up, though? Justify your statement.
Give them.
Go ahead.
All right, look here, man. First of all, I got a list of every single massacre that has been recorded in North America since the Indian Wars began with the settlers going back to the 15th century. I got a list of every single one that is on the record. There have been numerous ones. The settlers did it, the white Europeans did it, and the Indians did it. Not only did the Indians do it to the European settlers, just like the European settlers did it to them, they did it to each other. That is why the European settlers were frequently able to God damn it, can I finish? Why they were able to ally frequently with Indian tribes, because Indian tribes saw an ally against a common enemy. You have no idea how brutal the wars were between Native American tribes as well as the European settlers. It was brutal and ugly, and both sides regularly massacred each other. There weren't any clean hands on any side.
What?
Okay, listen.
See, you like
no, hold on. Listen, brother. You're muddying.
You said you're going to give me some time.
Listen.
They're already interrupting me.
Okay, well, go
You
ahead.
want me to just leave?
I don't care if you leave or not, but go ahead.
I know you don't, but you said you were going to give me the time.
But go ahead, nigga. Jesus.
Well, then tell them to shut up, will you?
All I said was what? That disturbed you,
Right,
you
so
simple
again,
motherfucker?
All right, let me tell you what. All right, again, there were
You can't
numerous
even
massacres.
think, man.
Motherfucker, shut up. Again, there were all kinds of massacres between the 16th century and the end of the 19th century between settlers and Native Americans. I'd really rather talk about South Africa, because we can go on about what happened in North America from now until doomsday. You were talking about South Africa. I don't want to digress.
Now you rambling, Sar. Get to the point.
You're the rambler, you son of a bitch.
Oh, God.
You do it. And next time you do it, I'm going to interrupt you and show you where you ramble.
All right, where we at?
Now,
go ahead.
And these motherfuckers, now, East Coast tell me we don't need a history lesson. And that's all I was getting a few minutes ago from all these motherfuckers giving me this fake-ass history. They just made up out of thin air 100 million people
Man,
in
you
South Africa.
whining and complaining. Get to the point.
63 million people live in South Africa today. There ain't never been 100 million people living in the region known as South Africa in the history of the planet. Jesus.
All right. Well, I mean, what I was trying to say is you're muddying the conversation when you're talking about Native Americans.
Yeah, because you talk so much shit, there's so much to answer for.
Okay, but listen, you're muddying the conversation when you talk about Native Americans fighting Native Americans. Europeans fought Europeans. Let me finish. Listen, I'll let you talk, so you shut the fuck up. Listen, Europeans fought Europeans. Africans fought Africans. Native Americans fought Native Americans. What we was talking about is the genocide that was created and caused by the Europeans that came to America. We weren't talking about the Native American fighting each other in wars and stuff like that. Tribalism happened. And tribalism happened with all demographics of people across this planet. The Chinese people fought the Chinese people. Asian people, I mean, they just fight each other all the goddamn time, right? But we weren't talking about that. We were talking about the massacre, the genocide of Native Americans by the Europeans. Do you get it?
I get it, and that wasn't what you were saying earlier. You were ascribing it all one way, and that is a historical lie.
It is not a historical lie to say that white people went around this planet killing every goddamn body and ruining all kinds of shit.
Everywhere they landed, Sarge, your daddy killed people. Your daddy is a murderer. Everywhere he landed. There's not one place on.
Can you tell her shut the fuck up, please?
she won't say nothing. She can speak.
Yeah, so only Sarge can fucking talk? What the fuck?
Are you gonna tell her shut the fuck up so I can finish what you said I could?
She can speak. Why can't she speak?
You're not, I guess you don't understand to. You're a fucking liar.
Why can't she speak?
Everywhere your daddy went, he was a murderer. Everywhere where there were people of color, he was a murderer. Now say
hold on. Let me hear what Lisa got to say.
Wash, rinse, and repeat the same shit 15 fucking times.
Okay, hold on. Let me hear what Lisa got to say. What you got to say, Lisa?
No, I was just gonna say, I think everybody as stars would probably agree, all across the planet, the Africans were brutal, fighting and conflicting and slaughtering one another. They were doing it.
Yeah.
And we can take it all the way up to World War II, how the Japanese, oh my God, how they did the Chinese in the Philippines. We can take it all the way back to this, to that. Everybody, and some people got caught out there short and slipping. And when the Caucasian came through, they conquered everything.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
Can we agree with that?
What I heard here today. Can I finish what I started to say, Tyrone, or not?
go ahead, Sarge.
Good God Almighty, I got to fight for space here, and you get mad at me when I try to tell you you're not letting me finish.
What a baby.
What the fuck is wrong
What a
with you?
baby.
All right, so again, I'm not taking their side or any fucking bodies. The only country I have an affinity for is mine, the United States. I'm simply relating the historical facts. And I'm trying to tell you the universality of conquest and brutality in warfare. Nobody's got a corner on it. There are 12 wars going on in Africa right now, and hardly a European is involved in any of them.
He's whispering in their ear.
Good night. I mean, it's just amazing what I keep hearing all the time. So look, I'm trying to tell you this. When it comes to South Africa is a nation. Like most nations, it has sinned. One of its greatest sins was apartheid. That has been remedied now by the communists they put in charge of the government, called the African National Congress. And they're doing a miserable job of governing the country. Miserable. South Africa used to be the leading industrial nation on the continent. What is it now? A hellhole. They can't even keep the electricity on.
Okay,
Jesus Christ, it doesn't matter. Okay, yes, the South Africans had apartheid and they did a lot of sins. What's going on now with the ANC and the communists that run that damn country is every bit as bad, if not worse.
No, hold on for a second. You said that the apartheid has been remedied. According to Sister Ottawa, and from what I noticed, the apartheid had not been remedied because power has not been handed over to the original people. Power still is in the hand of the white South Africans. Sorry, that's not a remedy. Do you understand? You get what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. I understand what you just said. Let me ask you a question. Should South African citizens of all races be allowed to vote or not? Or would you restrict the vote to white South African citizens? Yes or no? What would you do?
No, I think everybody should be allowed to vote.
Okay, so we can say, okay, that's settled. I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm just answering a series of questions. All right, since they have the right to vote, and so does everybody else in South Africa, and since wealth is in the hands of certain people, do you think the government should expropriate that wealth as they are beginning to do with land and translate it to every other sphere of economic activity? Because
okay, now shut up, listen to my answer. Shut up, listen to my answer.
On the road to final ruination.
Okay, shut up and listen to my answer. Whenever you're asking that question, you're talking about coming out of a system of apartheid, right? So the way that power was obtained during the apartheid system, you should look at it different than trying to hand power over like you just suggested, right? But in fairness, the power that was taken and the people that was oppressed should have an equal opportunity and access to resources in that country, just like the other half. And that is not what happened. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, but your problem is that your suggestion is long on theory and short on details.
Well, you asked me what my opinion was, nigga, and I told you the way those South Africans are doing it now is wrong.
Always in the details as to how people are allowed to access these resources.
I'm talking about the way they obtained it. Listen, I'm talking about the system.
Daddy is a murderer.
Listen, the system that they obtained it by.
Shut up for a minute, will you?
The system that they obtained it by through the apartheid system was wrong and unfair. You agree with that?
Yes.
So whenever they got rid of that system, they should have got rid of everything that was causing oppression in that goddamn country, and that is access to resources, money, and all that kind of bullshit. That shit should have been equally distributed. Other people should have power. Nobody should be to have the white people should not still be in power over there. But listen, I got an unknown caller, and then I got Joshua. Who's this unknown caller?
Did you ever read what Mandela thought about that?
Ah, damn, you still talking.
Who's this unknown
yes,
caller?
I am still talking. Now, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Okay.
What did Mandela say about that, Tyrone?
Hey, can he invite the caller in
I
first?
don't know. I'm trying to run a show right now.
God
He
damn.
was doing it, not you, asshole.
He already announced before you open your dick beaters that somebody was trying to get in.
Okay.
Quit sucking a man's dick and shut the fuck up.
Okay,
you
stop.
got enough to fill your mouth up with.
Okay. Who's this unknown caller?
Is that me? Big
Big OC, and then after Big OC,
what up, Big OC?
And then after Big OC, we get Joshua. Go ahead, Big OC.
Man, I just tapped in, man, and I understand. A lot of countries, a lot of people fought wars and all these massacres and shit. But I would ask, are Africans during their wars did they use any nuclear weapons?
No.
Okay. Jesus. No. Jesus.
They don't. No, they don't have any.
That's really all I want to know.
No, they
don't
did not.
have any to use. No, they did not. They don't have any to use. But if they had them to use, they probably would have. We don't know.
Shaka Zulu did an excellent job with Asegis and Pylons. He didn't need nuclear weapons.
So the answer is no.
His were brutal and very efficient.
So the answer is no.
But the fact that you call them Shaka Doodle sounds like you don't even respect what he did. So you just need to be quiet for a little.
Used Asegis and spears, and they killed thousands of people very efficiently without nuclear weapons.
Sorry, did the other side have a chance to fight though?
Yes, the Matabele were decent warriors. They had no match. They were no match for the highly regimented MPs of Shaka Zulu. They were no match for his highly regimented and trained warriors.
Shaka Zulu wasn't trying to wipe everybody out.
But he did good enough. You know how many people he killed when his mother died?
He wasn't trying to wipe everybody out.
He killed 30,000 people to mourn for his mother. That's what they say. That's what they say, nigga.
Why can't you let him talk, man? I don't understand why you won't let him talk. Let him talk. Let him say what he got to say. You've been talking for like 2.5 hours, nigga. Let him talk.
Not as long as you long-winded bastard.
Hold on. Listen, I'm going to give you Shaka Zulu killed 30,000 people. But that is minuscule in the amount of people that Europeans killed on this goddamn planet. So let me get Brother Joshua.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Joshua.
This is insane. This is very insane. But here's the point. King Leopold killed 20 million Africans. And that motherfucker is a hero to white people. 20 million. King Leopold killed 20 million Africans. Nobody gave Africans shit after that bastard killed 20 million Africans for nothing. Not because he's a good guy, not because nothing. He killed 20 million Africans. He did not see the human value in them. That's why he did it. And if we get people to come on the phone and cheerlead for Europeans like this, ain't no 12 wars in no Africa right now. There was no tribe. They still, after almost a moderate, almost 1,000 years in moderate times, they still try to relinquish the ideas of colonization and imperialism in Africa. They still trying to get rid of it. And these Europeans won't leave, won't get the fuck out. They want to stay there and think it's normal to take people's resources. It's insane. There's no room for cheerleading for them. The Africans should have killed them all. They won't film. We see that now, right there, with them Burkina Faso. We see it right now. The same identical thing. The man is wanting his people to be able to self-determine, to self-govern themselves. Self-determination. That's all he wants. And they still are trying to find ways to get rid of him. He didn't do nothing to nobody. Not one person. So, my point is, man, again, that in Africa, all the issues that happen in Africa since the arrival of the European and the damn Arab, the problem is that they've been fighting colonization from both sides since then. Okay? Period. That's period. And the European has been a thorn, just like the Arabs, but it has been a thorn in their side ever since they were able to make contact with the Africans. They've been a thorn in them people's side. And the only reason why they got into Africa, because the Africans saw people as human beings first. Okay? That's how they were able to get it. And once they got in, they could not get out. And the Africans look up today and say, damn, what did we do? We can't get rid of them. We can't get rid of them. They won't let us. They try over and over. They still fighting to get their artifacts back. Benin still fighting to get their artwork back. They stole. They took. No one's going to take them. They still fighting to get their artifacts back. That's not to say, well, they can take them, but they have to give them back. That's not yours.
Well, you know what, Joshua? You making me think of some hypocrisy here, because I'm pretty sure I heard Sarge's opinion about the deportation of migrants out of America, and he supports it. You know, he wants American to be America. So what is wrong with deportating these people out of Africa? You know, I guess that's about the same thing. Make Africa great again. That could be MAGA over there. Make Africa great again. Kick them motherfuckers out.
I'd like to answer that, Tyrone.
Well,
I can
here's
answer
the
that.
thing, Tyrone, hold on, let me say this. Here's the thing. The land that the Boers got or the Dutch got, the land that they took, they never paid for it. They just took it. That's the problem. And this is what the Africans are telling them, particularly in South Africa, saying, the land you got, you took it. Stop it. You took it. You didn't pay for it. You took it. These bastards are so hypocritical. They have a separate part. This for those Boers. It's called it begin with an O. Arabia, something like that. They don't part themselves out of parts. If you can go, what African can go to Europe today and carve out a part and say, we're gonna make this Wakanda. You can't find that. It won't happen. So Europeans will not let that happen.
Tyrone.
Okay, so I'm saying this again. Yes, Tyrone, you're right. There's purely hypocrisy. It's always been hypocrisy when it comes, particularly dealing with Europeans, even in America. Even with this shit, with these little red little Klansmen, with these little Klansmen in office, devouring the Constitution. If it means anything to them,
don't even need it.
You see, so I'm saying that when I'm saying in Africa, south to the west, to the east, they've been relinquishing the colonial powers since they got here. You go to Rwanda, they get that stuff that happened between the Tutsis and the Hutus. Europeans instigated that shit. They instigated that. So I'm saying that they have been a problem.
All right, let me answer what you just said when you accused me of hypocrisy.
They have been.
He's not done speaking. He's not done speaking. He's still speaking. He's still speaking. Let him finish.
Go ahead.
Shut the fuck up. He didn't tell you to do shit.
All right, y'all calm down. Y'all calm down.
That's because you can't fucking hear. You can't hear Yashua still talking.
Okay. Ain't nobody. Can't nobody hear nobody now.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Sarge.
Thank you. That's what he said, Mama's boy. He told me to go ahead.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He just now said
I
it.
didn't
He
say
just
that.
said it, man.
I didn't say that.
Damn you! Shut the fuck up! He just
Hey,
said
listen,
go
listen
ahead.
to the man. He'll tell you.
But go ahead now, sir.
Tyrone. Hey,
I am
Tyrone.
a big believer. I am a goddamn.
Tyrone.
Let's tell these people to shut up or what?
This weird ass cool is the one that woke me up. That's why I woke up.
Are you gonna tell these motherfuckers to shut up or not? You
Go ahead.
I'm
Go
not
ahead,
shutting
man. Jesus Christ, y'all give me a
Now
hand.
this motherfucker say you ain't gonna shut up.
That's right, I'm not. Because
Listen to this punk. Shut that motherfucker off.
I'm talking.
He
You
don't
shut
have
that motherfucker
to.
off.
Oh,
You
God.
shut your
What the
motherfucker
fuck?
up.
Thursday night never.
You go to hell.
Oh, I hate using that word. Forgive
All
me.
right.
Goddamn phone.
Okay, go ahead,
You
Sarge.
mute everybody, but you don't mute nobody but me.
I didn't mute you. I did not mute you
wham.
tonight. So stop lying. I
God
didn't mute you
damn.
tonight. Go ahead.
Wham.
If anyone gets muted, it's usually me.
You gonna
Okay,
cry,
are you gonna speak?
cry.
You when you said I could
Somebody
go
get
ahead.
that nigga a
Okay,
Kleenex.
are you okay? Can y'all let this man speak? Can y'all let this man
How am I
speak?
gonna go ahead with these motherfuckers keep talking?
Okay, go ahead then.
What's wrong with
Are
you?
you listening, Sister Ottawa, or your ears plugged up too?
I
Okay,
am listening,
go
and
ahead.
I'm sick of you hollering. You
ahead.
sound like a
One more
banshee.
time. Can you tell these people to shut up, Tyrone?
Okay, go ahead, man.
Man, you just got through asking the woman a question. She answered your dumb ass. Man, you such a petulant child.
All right.
You a
All right.
fucking-
Go ahead, Sarge.
You got the mute button going because they won't shut the fuck up.
Okay, you ain't
Oh,
going.
wow. We
Go
can
ahead.
listen
Ain't nobody being
All right,
muted.
so
It
again,
ain't ABC show.
See, I got started. This motherfucker did it again.
Can you
Oh,
please
God.
go ahead? Just start
All right,
talking.
so
Just
again,
start talking. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Well, you can listen. They'll interrupt the minute I start talking.
Oh, goddamn.
Okay, y'all let the man talk. Go ahead, talk.
All right, I just told you. I'm a big believer in not intervening in the internal affairs of any other country, including South Africa. If they want to make a law that expels all white South Africans, they can do it if that's what they want to do. Let them live with the consequences for doing it. But here's what the United States has a right to do. We have the right to create asylum laws that recognize persecution of people in any other country. And on the basis of that recognition, we grant asylum to people from all over the world. What they're supposed to do is go to an American consulate and make the request through the consulate for asylum. That is what the South Africans did. They made the request of proper channels at the American consulate in South Africa, and they were granted asylum, unlike the phony asylum that the Biden administration gave to millions of South Americans who never should have been granted it.
Okay, so let me pause. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. You said that they're supposed to apply for asylum, but when the presidential administration up under Joe Biden did it, you call it a phony asylum. See, you can't have it both ways. You just said the country's supposed to make this. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Because you a goddamn hypocrite and you fucking lying right now.
There's a reason I said it was phony. Now, do you want to hear it?
I don't, because I mean, you just said the government's supposed to do it, and that was the government.
Argument all to hell.
No, I don't. I don't want to hear it. You said the government's supposed to do it.
I know you don't, because I'll blow your argument up.
You said the government's supposed to do it, and Biden was the government. There's no other argument to have.
By the way, you don't come in the country and then claim asylum.
Okay, whatever, man. I mean,
listen. Hey, Tyrone, let me say something, Tyrone. But this dude sit here again, just like his daddy. He told us a bold-faced lie. Number one, white people in South Africa was not suffering no persecution. Even though the white people from South Africa has made videos and said that. They said, no, that's not true. I'm a white South African, and nobody persecuted me in South Africa. They're lying. Ain't nobody killing white South Africans. That's not happening. Now, are there times when people get killed? Yeah. Is there some crime over there? Yeah. But ain't no outright killing of white South Africans in no South Africa. That's a damn lie. That's why the president of South Africa got so pissed off. He's like, I can't believe they said that. Those are racist MFs. There was a serial killer in South Africa. He was a white guy. I forgot his name. He did nothing but kill black South Africans. That's all he did. And he almost got away with it because he was a white South African. He was a serial killer. He killed nothing but South Africans. Most of them were men. Yes, they did a story on it. So I'm saying this, that there's no way throughout the history of Africa where black people in Africa actually just jumped up and started killing a bunch of white people for nothing. That didn't happen. That's never happened. Never happened. So I don't know what he's talking about. He lied. Those white people over there are not suffering no persecution. They're not being murdered over there. Even other white South Africans are now coming out with their own videos, and they're saying the same thing. They said, this dude lied. This dude sit there and told a bold-faced lie. They got, let me tell you what they're doing. That farm, that land they took from the farmers, that's where they're going to place them white South Africans, right there. Yes, that's what they're going to put them at. Right there, right down there, where that farm they didn't took. And those folks are nothing but Elon Musk's people. Those are his people. That's why Donald Trump is doing that. That's why he's doing that. If that's the case, everybody should be a right to asylum. They should not have the right to deport people based on the fact that they don't want them here. If that's the case, if you want to be fair, they should have a right to deport anybody. Period.
Tyrone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yes, it's all racist. And if you want to talk about people doing it the right way, call it fraud or whatever, let's discuss the Haitians in Springfield. The community over there has stated how much of an asset and how they have been building and really adding, because it was a dying place. Trump wants to revoke all they think and send them back. They're here the right way.
Legally.
They're suffering, and they were running from true what do you want to call it? True
genocide.
Whatever genocide. I'm talking about
a real threat on their life. A real threat on their life. Yeah.
Over there in Haiti, and they came over here. And the white folks, some of them, that's racist was, but for the most part, the businesses and everything, they said that those people coming over here working really hard has really added to their GDP. And the fact that they want them there to work, and it's helped bringing back a community and allowing it to thrive. And he wants to get rid of them. And then he bring these bummy white South Africans over here who really has nothing to offer. They're not the rich South Africans. They're not the elite South Africans.
They're not.
They're the bums. So we have to tell the truth about it. But Tyrone, you asked a question a while ago. Would you want to see them expel all of the white South Africans from South Africa? Mm-hmm. Would you want to see them expel all the people from here? I don't see that happening, and I'm just gonna be a realist.
Yeah, I don't either. They need to work out some type of solution.
I don't see that's not happening. They have to work out something. They have to come to something. They have to even things up. It's not going to be pretty how it's done. And you're going to have people who's not going to agree with it. But the way the world is set up now, it's never going to be pack your bags and everybody get the hell out, because then we're liable to be told that. It's not going to happen. We have to, in a sense, find a democratic, and I know people don't want to hear it, way of getting along, free trade, and all of that. But just saying y'all all pack y'all shit and get the hell out, That's not going to happen. It's unrealistic, and ways has got to be found to even equal up the wealth gap and different things like that. That is what we need to be worrying about. But telling somebody pack their shit up and all of them get the hell out and go back to your home, that's not going to happen. That's unrealistic to think that that's going to happen.
Well, that's
and
why
it's not going to be
I
pretty.
keep bringing up that they've been over there for centuries. So I don't think that you can undo that.
That is not going. You can't undo that. Got to figure out a way, and it's not going to look good. It's not going to be. Everybody's not going to be satisfied. The indigenous people aren't going to be satisfied. The Afrikaners is not going. And I'm not speaking up for no damn Afrikaners, but they are not going. But neither side is going to be happy with how it's going to go. But you're going to have to do it, and it's been too far long since the end of apartheid that those people that they need to start to even up this thing here. And it's not. And if they're going to take land that's not being used, that's owned by some white South Afrikaners, then give it to the blacks. Let them farm it. Let them build and have something for their family and try to even up that damn wealth gap, because they have the largest pay disparity on the planet. So that has to be done, and it's not going to be pretty. But to say pack your shit up and get the hell out, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I think that's compared, like, we've been over here for centuries, so it'll be trying to tell like all the black people to pack their stuff and get out of America.
And get out. That's not happening.
I have an idea, Tyrone. Mm-hmm. The black South Africans have a model over here in the United States on how to take power. The people that are in power, you find a way to take them to court for breaking laws. You lock their ass up and confiscate their shit. The same shit they do to us over here. We get big enough, we get enough power over here. Pretty soon, here come the popo, and they arresting you. And next thing you know, they taking all your money from you, and you spending the rest of your life in fucking jail. So they have a great model over here in America on how to level the playing field over there. They just do what the white man has
But Mama Boy, you can't do that to all white South Africans, though.
No, I'm not suggesting all white South Africans. What I'm saying is you find the most powerful ones and you take them down.
Well, let me just say this. Right now, there is a population in South Africa who are European, who have outlived their visas. And from what I've read, there is 2 million Europeans who have outlived their visa. Now, these are the first people that they have been talking to about leaving the country because they've outlived their visa. They're there illegally. So they're asking those people to leave.
You got an argument with somebody like that if they outlive their visas.
Yeah, you got an argument. That they got to go. They got to go.
Yeah,
just like they doing here.
But you know what though? Right. I think the problem. One of the problem is that when the president was talking in South Africa, he was talking with another German. Molina was his name, and they was talking, and they said the issue with South Africa, it's not so much them kicking Europeans. That's not the point. He said it's the part that they took things illegally, and when you bring that to their attention that this was done illegally, then that's when the problem starts. Like, no, this was illegal what you did, and basically, like for example, in South Africa, there's certain tribes that have certain land mass. And that land had a name. But guess what? That land mass and that name that belongs to that South African, he can't go farm and be what he is naturally because somebody done took his land. He can't do that. So that they have generations of folks who was duped out of their land. Okay? So now those children are growing up and they say, hey, that's why these land, let's say for example, Swaziland over there that you took a farm on, you took it illegally, and I want it back. You got no right to do that. No, you didn't pay for it. And matter of fact, they wouldn't have sold you the Swaziland like that. They wouldn't have sold it to you. Okay? It's almost like a historical landmark. It's
Those are
sacred,
sacred
exactly.
lands.
So my point is that's the issue what they're dealing with in South Africa. Burkina Faso, they telling the French to go to hell, period, because they've been a thorn in their side. Because the people there cannot build things to self-determinate their economic status. Okay, they can't self-determine the fact that they need to live properly and build homes for themselves. You know, so since he done came into power, he's telling them, the French, no, you got to go. And the only reason why he's telling the French in that harsh term, because he know the French would not leave. He know they could continue to do what they do. They don't have over 20 attempts of that man's life in Burkina Faso. They had 20 attempts of coups and assassinations on him, and they keep failing, which thanks to the ancestors. So I'm saying that again, that this is the problem in Africa, and this is all throughout. I think Africa was. Whether you go to Rwanda, Burkina Faso, South Africa, parts of Senegal, whatever, and southern countries don't even have that problem with the Europeans because the Europeans know that no, this is it. This is how it's going to go. That's it. You know, Nigeria has that problem a little bit. So I'm saying that this is how how you have to look at it. That some of those lands are sacred lands, and they took the land, and they're building things on the sacred land. And the Black South Africans said, no, you took the land illegally.
I mean, the government should take charge, right? And then they should assess everybody
but that's what
fairly.
He's trying to do. Yeah,
okay, but they should assess everybody fairly. The whole blanket kick white people out, that ain't gonna happen. But it should be fair for the Africans, because you know they was wrongly. They took the land and all that kind of stuff, and it belongs to them people originally, so they should do that fairly. But listen, it's 12 o'clock, guys. I got to get out of here. And look, YouTube, I'm getting ready to shut this down. The conversation, I'm pretty sure, is going to continue over here. You can go ahead and listen to Sarge Yale or whatever, and find out about Africa, South Africa. Lisa, I appreciate it. Everybody, I appreciate you guys calling in, but I got to get out of here. I'll talk to y'all later.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
Oh, y'all can talk while y'all shut up. Go ahead and talk. Sarge, you on the phone?
Shit, like that's supposed to make a difference?
All right, I'm going to holler at y'all.
And the same dynamics need to be recognized.